and we're just waiting for our players to hop into Discord. This is bad. So, fair warning. With everything going on in the world right now, the internet is probably a little clogged, a little choked with people desperate for some sort of interaction. So, I noticed last game we were having some issues with our connections. Looks like tonight's probably not going to be any different. I'm currently getting 1 bar on Discord, which is probably absolutely flooded. In case anyone's ever going back and looking at this. This is, God, what are we on? This is April 2020, so that means COVID-19 is keeping everyone indoors. I have seen 2 people the last 2 weeks outside of my wife. We've been locked inside. It's been absolutely crazy. But you know what? It's important to keep the spread down so that the hospitals don't get overwhelmed. So that is what we're doing. It looks like Ramba just joined. How's it going?
Not much.
I was just looking at my connection, seeing that 1 red bar in Discord. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have some issues with Discord and Roll20 again.
I mean, it's the end of the war. What did you expect?
I expected, I don't know, more burning barrels in the streets.
I don't know. I mean, I was playing the Resident Evil remakes mainly because RE3 got out, and then they finally got me to finally try the second one. I'm like, oh man, this is exactly somewhat how I remembered playing the originals back then.
Oh man,
I don't remember fucking Gator in the first one.
The second remake was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I especially love the way they did Mr. X. It's like, oh god, I can't get a moment to just stop and think. I gotta keep moving.
Well, so with Mr. X, it was fun for me because I learned fairly quickly that you could just kind of walk away from him or saunter away from him, and there were some rooms he just refused to go into, which was really polite, I think. So he wasn't quite as scary.
I think it's more along the lines they forgot to do that. So I noticed he wasn't chasing me into the clock. Good.
Yeah.
I had a moment to just think how to do this puzzle.
Yeah, it was really, really polite. So it looks like we got Karma Knight and Circle Master just joined in.
Yep, I'm here.
Yes, I am here.
Hope everyone's hanging in there, doing okay.
I have been slowly coming to terms with the performative experience of enjoying Imperator Rome.
What is that?
It is. Yeah, it is the most recently chronologically released Paradox game. It is a Roman Republic strategy game.
Cool.
It was also apparently very bad at release, but it has since received like 2, I want to say, complete like rebuild patches. And I have recently been playing it on a stream, and while doing so, coming to terms with the fact that, I'm enjoying this despite having had negative opinions coming into it.
It's always fun when that happens.
I mean, in terms of those Rome games, we have that classic Paradox LP of EU. And the clusterfuck that was.
God, I wish I had actually read the Crete LP when it was being created.
People really got involved in it, and there was lots of emotions involved. And you're like, I don't have time for this shit. Holy shit! There's 120 posts when I went out way for a smoke.
There's a comedy impassioned argument.
And a bunch of goons who, at a certain point in time, had lots and lots of free time in college to do that.
Holy shit, my goal is under attack.
How's everyone's internet connection looking right now? Discord's only giving me 1 bar.
Mine is as spotty as ever, but that's just me.
Alright, give me just a moment.
And we're right about to get in a fight, so this would be a great time for me to dump some XP into another rank of ranged combat. I'm not sure I can justify that to myself, though.
Did you make any Did you make any ranged attacks since the last time you put any XP into ranged?
I haven't put any XP to ranged. I just started with 1 rank in character creation.
I mean, if you've used it at all, I don't see anything wrong with saying that, you've been using it, you've been learning how to do it better. Where were we? So, while I'm getting the last little bit set up, does anyone want to give a quick synopsis of what happened last time?
We all failed our dex saves and ended up in garbage.
That is half right.
Yeah, that was... Gan did not fail his dex save to end up in garbage.
Yeah, I think everyone did just fine with their dex save, still ended up in garbage.
Gand chose the garbage because Gand makes mistakes.
Adversaries.
You don't have to be that hard on yourself, Dan.
Alright, I've bought some skill ranks. I now need to update my sheet.
Only thing I got between the 2 sessions was reaching ever closer to getting dedication and then an extra force rating.
You can't buy force rating with dedication.
Well, no. In order to get to I only have 1 force rating increase. It's the bottom row next to dedication on my tree.
Gotcha.
So I gotta go down, buy dedication, go over 1, and then buy force rating.
Here I am wasting XP on skills while y'all are getting attributes. Shows what I know.
Yeah, so I guess synopsis for the last session. You all were tracking your main lead through the ship. You found yourself going from the Carbon Town to Synthberg, into the control sphere of the ship, down into the maintenance tunnels, and eventually into the garbage dump of the ship, where it's processed before it's ejected into space. Following the trail, you eventually came almost face to face with a series of scrap droids, along with a better built droid that appeared to be wielding what looks very much like a lightsaber. You tried to reason with him, but no such luck. And the last thing that you remembered was him advancing on you. So, unless anyone has a problem with it, I'd like to just use the initiative order from the last time. Looks like y'all did fairly well, but we can certainly re-roll it if you want. Also, I need everyone to roll Destiny. And as a reminder, the obligation for this session is Asaph, who has a -1 strain threshold because he's feeling the weight of his exile. However you want to define that.
And it's not because I'm underground in some sort of sewer with a droid that has a homemade lightsaber. Oh, no, it's that.
Yeah. Priorities.
Yes, life is always full of priority.
Alright, so it looks like everyone has rolled Destiny. We're looking at... That can't be right. Maybe it just hasn't gotten to me yet.
I don't know why Kaizen rolled 2 dice.
I'm guessing that was for Foresight, or 4C. Actually, no, that does look right. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we need one more person to roll.
Yeah, that's Kaizen needs to roll Destiny point.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I rolled it, it's just taking forever to go.
I think we're going to have that issue again. Well, so far it's two light, 2 dark side. So far not bad. I don't have to start off. There we go. Great.
There it goes.
All right. So awesome. 2 light or 4 light, 2 dark. Looks like it's swinging a little bit in your favor. Okay. So while it's waiting to get to the Destiny pool, I guess, unless anyone else wants to do anything else, I'd like to jump right into combat with you guys fighting these robots.
If we must.
Yeah, they have blasters out, saber drawn, they're advancing. So, first up is a PC.
Do we have a combat map?
Ooh, hang on a sec. Try that real quick. I think Force Player Update should give everyone the new totals. All right, and I'm sorry.
Well, no. The player tab on the right map. Oh, there it is. There we go. Who wants the first go?
I call not it.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I can do an inspiring rhetoric so everyone can get their strain. I can try to restore some people's strain, so if you want that, we can do that.
That feels like a good opening move.
Okay, average check, GM.
All right, difficulty set.
Cool. Now. Good news is it doesn't cause one ally to in close range to recover one strain at all, but next person gets 3 boost dice.
Do you want to give your little speech real quick? Keeping in mind it's not the rousing
Listen here,
speech.
we've been on this ship for far too long enough, and now you want to go and hit us with this thing and then all of this. You know what? Let's try and get this thing done quick, because we need to get out of.
All right, so the oh, one sec. Let me.
And then on the action, so I'm going to spend my maneuver to get into cover.
Oh man, Roll20 is really taking a minute to load all of its assets. Let's see. Let's give you a castle for being behind cover. All right. So that was a move, a maneuver. Were you going to do a second maneuver?
No.
All right. Next PC.
I guess Gand is the best bet to take a shot at long range. That is a question for the crew.
Probably. And you can have 3 boost dice, it looks like.
So yeah, Gand is going to spend the maneuver to perform a true aim.
Oh,
Sadly,
man.
I only have one of those. So I really don't have to be doing special things. So I think that's just going to be it for me.
Well, just so you're with the boost, is that the next player that goes?
Yes, the next one in the initiative.
So that means if you
It
don't,
takes an no, that takes an action.
is it? All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next allied character, or let's see, next allied active characters check. Let me double check the rules because you might not want to go yet. Shit. Hang on a sec.
I am unclear on why we wouldn't want to give 3 boost dice to what is probably our best.
Like, I even have a new trick from the Hunter tree to test out.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know one thing, Kevin. When you get 2 triumphs and you hit him, don't roll a crit. Say you destroy that light.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no. That is an option.
All right.
Also, I just now checked them, and my gun has Pierce 1, which I've forgotten up until now.
That is good to remember.
So
yes,
Good that you don't remember it.
GM,
yeah.
you were looking into something.
Yeah, I was trying to see what the rules as written were about the next, or the character that gets the advantage. Because my understanding is, based on this, the next allied active characters check gets the boost. And if you use 2 advantage, then it's any allied character's next check, not necessarily the next one in the sequence.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage of using the 2-1 is to get perhaps the guy who's going to be acting last to get a bigger on their check. Because maybe they're the slicer that's trying to get the thing.
Yeah, so if you are okay wasting those boosts, that's 100% up to you.
Why are they being wasted?
Because it's a boost to the next allied active character's check, and since whoever's going now is the active character. If you don't do a check, then those boost dice are for you, and they're just not going to be.
I would be very suspect of it being run that way. I've never seen it run that way, including in the official.
Yeah, that's a really weird interpretation.
All right. Well, can someone
action now?
Can someone give me the official page of where the
It doesn't really support their game, so there probably isn't one.
If everyone completely disagrees with that, that's fine. But we'll set it as a precedent. It'll work both ways. But my understanding is that the reason it was like that is one boost or one advantage gives it a boost to the next active player. 2 boosts gives it to any player. In the interest of moving forward, let's just say that it works the way Darius is saying it works, and we'll come back to it later, so that we're not wasting time. So,
All right.
It'll be the next character's check, not a specific character's check.
Like, the way I've always interpreted it has always been the boost die you get for spending 1 is always whatever the next check the party makes is.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I want to move forward. I don't want to spend all this time debating this. So I'm just giving it to you. So you
All right. So yeah, Gand is going to. God, I really don't want to shoot something so cool, but at the same time, last time I did that, we almost died. Gand is going to have to shoot something cool.
Then look cool doing it.
So Gand is going to be shooting the Jedi. If you can give me its.
Let's see. Look at this guy. He does not have a ranged defense.
And then you are handling all of the bad guy dice.
Yeah, long range, difficulty 3.
Is that set?
It is set. Let me know when you roll, because I kind of want to time it at this point.
Yes, I have hit the button and confirmed that I have hit the button.
Oh boy! All right, there we go.
Hit the Whopper button.
It's taking a couple minutes for the assets to load on my end. Okay, so two successes, 3 advantage. Let's see. So that ends up being is the damage that is showing, is that 9 base, or is that 9 with the 2 advantage or 2 success?
That is 9 base damage. It is Pierce 1. And I am also going to flip a destiny point.
To do what?
To activate this thing I just bought, which is to say, soft spot. After making a successful attack, may spend 1 destiny point to add damage equal to 1 hit.
Wow. All right.
So my character's cunning is 3, at least I think it was.
So it's 3 damage in addition to the 9 that you already did.
Yes, it is 3 damage thrown into the pile.
Right. Yeah, that's the way I was reading it too. So that's a total of 12 damage, pierce 1, right?
12 damage, pierce 1, yeah.
And what are you doing with the advantage?
So 3 advantages is not enough for me to do any of the, like, stuff that I really need to do. So I kind of just want to crit it.
Okay.
Actually, I could make it drop the melee weapon it's holding, but I kind of just want to crit it.
Okay, the big thing is that it actually has a rope attached to it, so it's not that. It's not going to be that much of a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I'm just going to crit it.
All right. So let me roll a crit for this guy. See what happens to him. Hamstrung. Loses free maneuver until end of encounter. Not bad.
That's actually really good, because it's long range from us.
All right, so that was 12 damage, pierce 1.
Gand is very, very sorry that Gand has to do this.
All right, so you shoot, and it's a slug thrower, right?
It is a blast. It is a blaster rifle.
Oh, okay. So the droid tries to slash out at the blaster fire as it's coming at him. It does not look like it's very effective. It looks like it's more of a reflex than anything else. The blaster bolt hits it square in the shoulder. It looks like it shrugs off a lot of damage. But it is still operational. And we'll say its shoulder is sparking, indicating that you've done some serious system damage to it. So he's going to be a little less maneuverable. All right. Anything else?
That is Gand's go. Gand would have done a normal aim, but Gand does not have the strain right now to be doing fancy.
All right.
I'll go.
Next up is actually an NPC.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's two PCs and an NPC. So the actually, hang on a second. I think he can do something.
No, I'm pretty sure he's not allowed to do anything.
Dang it! All right, well, you all win. Melee defense. That's not really worth it. So he's going to take cover for instead of an action. All right. I kind of thought guarded stance was better. All right. That was an incredibly good choice of crit, choice of using a crit, by the way.
Can still spend strain to get a maneuver, though.
He could. Next up is a PC.
Or take action. Okay. Well, I'll go.
All right.
Big boy is at long.
Yes, and behind cover.
He's behind cover. Okay. Aim my maneuver and then shoot.
All right. So I'm going to. Oh, are you going to upgrade it?
Say it again?
Are you going to upgrade? Are you going to use a destiny point to upgrade? Hello? Have I been disconnected?
I can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay.
He's thinking very hard.
Okay. I'm just paranoid now.
People hear me though?
Yes.
You're breaking up a little bit. So I'm sorry, did you say you were going to upgrade or not?
Correct, yes.
You said you are
Yeah, you're
going
cutting
to...
in and out.
Alright, trying this again.
I can hear you.
Am I breaking up still, or is this better?
That's better.
It's better so far.
Okay, I said that I was spending,
Okay.
and difficulty is, I'm at long, so what is it?
Well,
3,
so
2?
you're upgrading. I'm going to upgrade as well, so that just balances out. So the difficulty is 2 purple, 1 red, and 1 black.
Alright, I will pass the boost die 4.
All right. So your blaster fire goes right over the old crate that it's ducking behind. Were you going to do anything else?
Nope, that was me.
All right. Next up is another PC.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one left.
Yep.
So I am going to opt to take a shot, aim and shoot, I should say, at the minion scrappy boys.
Okay. So difficulty is just is set.
Where?
You were aiming,
Man.
right? If you were,
Yes, there should be a second blue die. You're
Yeah.
right.
I don't think it's going to change that failure result, but it could result in. Oh, yeah. It's
No, it's blank.
yeah. All right. Were you doing anything else?
No.
All right. Okay. So next up are these guys. The first one is going to advance and fire on Cabin since he shot their buddy. Let's see. So
Gand is prepared. Gand also has no range defense. Gand does not know why Gand is so cocky right now.
all right. So I'm not going to upgrade. Do you want to upgrade?
Ay.
Are these not a minion squad?
Yeah, they're a minion
These are all
squad of
separate.
2.
It is 1 minion crew per
Initiative
per
order.
token.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's actually 6 scrappy boys, 2 in
Yeah.
each token.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 squads of 2.
As I just look through the stuff that I've bought, going, nah, nothing will help me here. So, do your worst.
All right. So they open fire. And I just click the button. We'll see how long it takes. Boop, 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 boop. Huh. I wonder if a lot of people are playing Roll20 right now.
Yes.
Like, right this
Yeah,
moment.
it's
There-
almost like there's a quarantine on or something,
Yeah.
so everybody's staying inside and using the internet.
Maybe I didn't push the button. Let's see how long it takes for these two results to pop up. I think wonder if it'd be quicker for me just to actually find my physical dice.
Well, the Discord channel has a roll. Has
Yeah.
a die
I was
roller.
saying, the Discord channel has a dice roller, and I also have access to like 2 different online, just kind of in-browser dice rollers.
Yeah.
I also have physical dice if you don't mind me lying about what my dice roll was.
It's all triumphs.
I've got a dice tower and everything. It'll make a great sound, and then I can just say whatever I want.
It's all triumphs, Jim.
All right. Well,
No good.
yeah. So the result from the first blaster fire was 3 success and 2 threats. I'm gonna say, since they're a minion squad, it doesn't really make any sense to assign strain, i.e., actual wounds, to a minion squad, unless everyone completely disagrees with that.
Strain, per raw, strain is wounds, and crits instantly kill a member of the group.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, does it make sense for
No, please, let me make a free maneuver to get into cover off of this.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm looking at the how to spend things, and it's just like, hey,
Oh,
I
you're
can,
saying, okay, yeah.
I can
I'm sorry,
spend-
I didn't see the roll came through. I get it now. What it did.
All right, so the blaster fire hits cabin. It's a there we go. a little late, but the damage is let's see, 11. Oh, sorry, 12 from the heavy blaster squad. And
guess what?
Oof.
With my soak,
all
fill
right.
up.
The next squad steps forward, fires. We're gonna say they're gonna open fire on Asaph, who is in cover. G yellow, PP black. Is it black for? Oh, S for
Yes,
setback.
it's cover.
Ain't it black?
Wow. All right, so the second squad opens fire on Asaph, who is safely behind a pile of garbage. And the third squad is going to march forward and fire on Kazan.
Well, it was nice knowing everyone.
Green, yellow, purple.
And they're all new characters.
Look,
But Marcus will live. You'll have to deal with his assholery for the entire campaign.
No!
There's no escape.
I'm gonna be a Wookiee entrepreneur who only speaks Wookiee.
All right.
Gand has not dropped below his. Gand has not taken wounds above his threshold yet this game.
Well, I'm the only one that has, I think.
No, Asaph also got knocked unconscious.
So, all right. Does anyone have any experience in this, whether or not threat can be used to assign essentially wounds to minions?
I
Yeah,
wouldn't do it
The
unless it
basic
seems
thing you can
thematic.
say is, due to this shitty construction, you start to notice is that the recoil of the blaster is starting to get a few bolts loose on some.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually I have been slowly getting bullied into just not using threats to cause strain in general, but usually there's like a.
Because, like, in this instance, the threat and despair that I'm seeing for one really only lets you give a strain or lose benefits of a maneuver.
Yeah, that's why I don't see a problem with minions taking strain as wounds, especially when they're in groups.
Yeah.
So it's not like they have a small health pool.
Yeah. Is everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. If it makes sense, we'll do it. All right. So the only thing that makes sense is as they're advancing, I don't know, they get hit with a stray burst of steam from a thermal port.
I mean, you've got all three of them advancing and firing at the same time. They clearly could have a little bit of crossfire, as they are not fully coordinated. Some stray shots from each other.
Something people forget too, like round in this game of like everybody going is like supposed to be like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be like a minute in general.
So like it's very easy to just basically say that like during the course of all the shooting and stuff, like like one of them like knocks a box over and takes some damage or something. Like there's a lot of room. It's not 6.
Yeah. All right. I'm sticking with the thermal port though. Now that you mention it, will be considered for future rounds. So top of the round, new player gets to go.
Is it time for Gand to do another Gand thing?
It's time for Gand to do.
I'm going to do this thing. Spend a destiny point. I want to do this. Say as I got myself a couple of stim packs, and I'm going to use the ready action maneuver, like ready items, and I'm just going to put combat drugs into the Gand so that he has at least 9 more health. Is that fine? It might force me out of cover. It'll force me out of cover because I gotta move and do that.
No, you don't.
It's an A+ for me.
You're adjacent. Or you're in close range.
Gand moved into this. Gand
3
moved
seconds
into this.
ago, I hit use light side to get those stim packs to magically appear. Let's see how long it takes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is this isn't great. Yeah, we'll just assume that there's one light side in the wind.
I'm just thinking of that piano playing like in the intermission Monty Python, waiting for everything to go through.
There we go.
Hey, there it is.
All right.
The people responsible for changing the light side points have been sacked.
All right. So, were you administering a stim pack to him?
Yeah, I'm gonna use both maneuvers, so I'll be spending a strain to do a second maneuver and do that because it's a maneuver to do a ready action.
It's 2 strain to do a maneuver, an extra maneuver.
Oh, okay.
So Gand receives the 5 stim pack and then the 4 stim pack.
Yes.
I
feel like this is like a RPG raid, and we need to keep the
the tank
dealer up.
Tank/damage dealer. All right. Next up
He's
is
one of those high classes.
All right. Next up is another
so
PC.
I'm just. I feel like is this the Gand go, or is there some other trick that someone had?
I think this ought to be the Gango.
I'm just going to be a worse version of you, so you should probably go first.
Alright, so True Aim, upgrade the check. You know what? It's time to... is it? No.
Here's a advice again, and this is me as Asif telling you. Shoot the minions. They're gonna whittle us down while the guy tries to come toward us.
Well,
Yes, I mean, here's the thing. Gand was initially going to focus fire the guy because the guy would get close to us and kill us with a lightsaber. But now Gand is, like, under fire, and that guy's not moving. It's good. Everything's good. Gand's gonna blow up some guy.
For all we know, he might have a grappling hook and then hook up to one of them.
That's gonna happen. That is gonna happen at some point.
that is an item. I had it in my last game.
Well, if you had it in your last game, it's not allowed in this game.
So,
True... A ninja we all know from Mortal Kombat.
True Aim is a different maneuver than aim, right?
It includes the benefits of aim.
Oh, it does.
It right in
That I should have gotten 4 boost die last time.
Yes, the road not taken.
But yes, so.
But now you know for next time.
I
Yep.
do. It's
Or
very
this time.
important.
True aim is good.
So yes, true aim. I am true aiming at. Let's go ahead and hit this group.
All right. The ones who are already a little knocked off balance from the steam.
Yes, the ones who got hit by a steam vent and thus should be slightly easier pickings.
All right. Do you want to just use Roll'em on
Yeah, I can.
Discord?
I can just use roll them then.
Yeah, I think for the time being.
Oh, now I have to actually remember what things are. So my ranged heavy is that. And then what's the difficulty?
Right now you're at medium range, so 2 purple.
So it should be my positive dice, purple.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not given any setbacks, or I'm not going to upgrade. All right. So damage on that is
9 pierce 1. Plus plus the 2?
Yes.
Alright, yeah, so 11 pierce 1.
So you said 11, right?
11 pierce 1, and if that doesn't kill them, I'm tempted to flip another point to add 3 to that.
When does your ability say you get to choose? Before or after the results of the roll?
That's actually a good point. Let me go to the actual, talents section where they will presumably have that in.
What is the name of the talent?
The talent is Soft Spot.
After making a successful attack, the character may spend 1 destiny point to add damage equal to his cunning to 1 hitful attack.
Yeah, so assumedly you would do it before you knew what effect it would have, because you don't know what effect it has until it already deals damage.
Yeah, that I am not going to.
All right. So tell me how you destroy one of them.
So were one or both of them knocked off balance, or was just the formation broken?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it sounds better?
All right. So since you don't have it defined, what happened was one of them was kind of pushed off balance by the jet of steam, and while kind of trying to reintegrate itself into their firing line, basically left open a side that was unarmored, and basically there was a space where a panel should have been, but there wasn't, and the Gand just kind of put 3 blaster bolts through that small target.
All right. So yeah, that small target crumples and drops. Were you going to do anything else?
I'm going to spend those 2... I'm still in cover, so I believe I am just going to pass 2 advantages forward.
Okay. So next up is an NPC. This little guy right here, the one that his buddy was just shot and destroyed. He is going to use his action to assist the next of the NPCs to go, and he is going to take cover. So basically he's laying down, suppressing fire, and dropping behind a sack of rotten organic material.
Cabbages.
Yep, from a particular street vendor. All right, next up is a PC.
Kazin, do you want to take it?
Yep, I'll go. I am shooting at one of the minion groups that has not already been shot at.
Okay.
Are they doing anything special with the defense?
The only one that has any sort of defense is the one that's ducking behind cover.
Okay.
But the other 2 are out in the open.
Okay, I'm going to take 2 strain to take an extra maneuver. I'm going to aim, I'm going to get into cover, and then I'm going to shoot at the one that isn't in. And, yeah, I'm going to upgrade as well.
All right. Where was it?
Oh, goody.
I will spend that triumph to crit, which kills one of them.
All right.
And that is a total of 13 damage. And I have a setback. Would you like to do anything with the setback, or just have me take strain?
I think strain is the only one that makes any sense right now.
Okay. That's 3 total strain taken this turn.
All right, so the light side pool is at 1, dark side is at 5.
Yep, so that's 13 damage before soak and 1 auto kill from the crit.
All right, so go ahead and tell me how you destroy both of them.
So yeah, Kazin just sort of like dives to the side behind like a ruined like shelf and is just unloading his blaster rifle at them as they're advancing forward. And he just catches a couple of them real lucky, and just parts like flying off of them and sparks everywhere. Real satisfying.
All right, yeah. So true to battle droid form, they are they're just a hunk of scrap now. Were you doing anything else?
Nope, that was it for me. I did spend the strain for an additional maneuver to go into cover, so if I am shot at, I do have cover.
All right. Let's give you a castle. All right. Oh, shoot. If I'd known that, I would have given you or removed the cover, but that's fine. Last PC.
Marcus is going to shoot at the other thing that's not hiding yet, and the 2 will hide.
Okay.
Because hiding seems like the popular thing that everybody's doing.
All right, so Marcus is hiding.
Yes, I'm looking for the castle.
Got it.
Oh,
No!
I got it.
Wait, no, that was incredibly weird. Both of them appearing, then disappearing.
Yep. All right, so you're taking cover. What else were you doing?
Attacking these scrappy boys.
Oh, yeah, so 2 purple. All right, so
Wow.
with one of those threats, I'll say that the cover that you just ducked behind gets blown away by stray fire, and then the second one is just 1 strain for you. Maybe one of as the box you're hiding behind gets hit by blaster fire, it kind of explodes into shrapnel. It doesn't hurt, but it gives you a bit of a scare. So that would account for the 1 strain. Were you doing anything else?
I kind of want to take 2 strain to get back into cover behind a different box now.
I wouldn't say no to that.
Well.
All right. So the last 2 NPCs go. This guy or this pair has a boost from their buddy. They're going to open fire on, man, so many decisions. I guess the Kazan just scrapped 2 of their friends. So green, yellow, purple. I'm not going to upgrade. Are you?
I will not upgrade, but I do have cover still.
Setback. Gotcha. All right. So, and then a boost. All right. So they are going to just kind of fire away at Kazan, who is safely behind his box, or whatever it is he's hiding behind.
Well, shelves, but safety is yet to be determined.
Currently safe. Let's see. Negate.
Trying to target non-creature spell.
Gain. Trying to think what would be most thematic here. It's only 3 advantage.
Well, they could pass the boost dice on. That's pretty damn good, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But, oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, so they're gonna pass those boost dice on. So they're laying down suppressing fire as... Oh, and then they're going to get into cover. Because that's what everyone is doing now. Alright, so the Archdruid is going to take the strain to advance. Sadly loses cover, poor him. And he's going to ditch his action for a movement. So he is now in short range. So that's the end of the turn. Next is a PC. Oh, shit, sorry. Let me take that back. I didn't quite mean to do that. He was actually going to use an action to fire, make a ranged attack. So rather than moving, sorry, he lifts up his arm, the one not holding the lightsaber, and the hand flips up, revealing some sort of odd cannon, and he launches a series of what appear to be ceramic tiles at you.
I was really hoping gas grenades because that would have been hilarious.
No. Alright, so that is ranged. I have to flip back to his skill, which is... Oof. So he is targeting Cabin, who hit him previously. Am I correct?
Yeah, Gand is the only one who hit him.
All right. So and then there's a setback. Are you upgrading the? I'm not upgrading. Are you going to upgrade the difficulty?
Let Gand check the effects of Gand's special skill. Just quickly, it adds damage. So no, Gand will not. Gand will take the brunt of this.
Okay. All right. So short distance, you're behind cover. Just double checking because there are a lot of dice being thrown around.
Range.
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, I do have 2 purple set. Okay.
Ooh.
Ouch.
All right. So the massive ceramic tiles rockets from his arm. It's not accurate at all, but they do kind of clatter into each other, breaking up, making shrapnel. So you get hit for 10 damage.
10 damage before soak?
Correct.
Unfortunately, the droid made a mistake. The droid let Gand live.
Yeah. If he had one more advantage, he would have enjoyed a critical
All right,
hit.
Tuco. What are you gonna say next? If it's time to shoot, shoot. Don't talk.
All
Stop trying to hit him and hit him.
right. Next.
So he is at medium range.
Yep. Next PC. Yep.
Last time I had good luck shooting a droid with the stun setting. Also, how is he only taking 11?
He used his advantage to recover a strain.
Did he?
Yeah. He recovered
All
one
right.
strain.
Alright. Just wanted to make sure. Because right now, my plan is switching to stun and stunning another droid.
All right. And
So-
stun is soakable, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it'll be soaked.
Correct. You do soak it.
Okay.
It will be soaked. But, however, I'm putting all of my gimmicks behind this.
All right. Difficult.
So, he does not have a range defense?
No range defense. Just his charming good looks.
So, 2 purple.
Oh, I'm gonna upgrade too. Sorry, 1 purple, 1 red.
So syntactically, it does it matter where I put it syntactically?
No, I don't believe it does.
Actually, you know what? If you're flipping one, we'll flip one right back.
You have to choose first as the attacker.
Just fire. Because you can only flip a 1 light side per turn.
Oh, that's actually a good point. That's not what I meant to do.
You should have 2 purple.
Why? You upgraded its purple red.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Wow!
Oh no!
What do you want to do with those advantage?
Did you not aim?
That's how he got the blue.
Yeah, that is my upgraded check.
Oh, I didn't see the blue. I'm blind.
I'm going to spend on last against and start feeding dogs, but I'm still on voice. Just FYI.
Okay.
Huh. What would be... I think I'm going to recover 3 strain with that.
All right. So as you blast it in, once again.
Actually, wait. Can I flip a destiny point to have my own set of stim packs and
You've already
use...
used one this turn, right?
No, he didn't. He was about to. I mean, I don't see why you can't say, oh yeah, I happen to have stim packs too. We found a whole bunch of them.
So yeah, Gand has stim packs.
The party learns magically about the importance of health potion.
And Gand is going to gain a free maneuver to spend that as to get 3 HP back, as Gand has hit the point of diminishing returns on stim pack.
All right. So yeah, once again, as you fire on him, the droid sweeps out with its lightsaber. Again, it doesn't look like it would have even reflected anything. It just looks like it's sweeping out at the attack. But the blaster fire did go wide. Were you doing anything else?
Gand has done everything Gand can.
Okay. All right, next up is another PC.
I'll go. I guess I'm gonna shoot at the bad man.
You should probably clean up one of the scribbles.
Yeah, okay.
Gand is pretty sure Gand has aggro, being the only creature that has shot at the droid.
Well, I will shoot at the full health group then, I guess. That's in cover.
Okay. See, 2 purple, 1 setback.
Okay. I will upgrade. I'm going to aim as well.
There's so many light side and dark side. Well, so many dark side points. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. No, I'm not. I'm going to save them. So you are using a light side. So 1 light, 5 dark. Oh, wait. It was that way before. Yeah, so we're now at 0 light, 6 dark after that.
I think that's my pool. Well, I hit.
All right, so how much damage is that?
10.
10? All right, tell me, and it was the full health one, right?
Full health one, yep.
All right.
I didn't say that.
So, I just wanted to double check. So, tell me how you scrap one of them.
Yeah, I just, I'm laying behind the ruins of the shelf, just laying down a steady stream of blaster fire. I just catch another one in the chest, it goes down. Satisfying smoke again. Yeah, I didn't knock the group out, guys, but, at least I get less dice now.
All right. Well, why? I guess YOLO. This little scrappy guy with 2 wounds left is going to charge forward. And open fire on... Oh no! What's going on? Where's so many arrows? Alright, so he's going to open fire on Kazan, who is the bane of the minions in this battle. Kazan, are you going to... Well, I'm going to upgrade. There are no light side points, so you cannot upgrade as well.
Well, you're the attacker.
True, but there are no light side points, so you can't do anything. Unfortunately. But you're still behind cover at least. Upgrade. Green, yellow, purple, setback. Okay. So I guess YOLO was the right attitude here, because I'm almost positive they're going to die, but they are going to score a critical hit first. First of all, what do you want to do with those 2 threat to the minion group that has 2 health left?
Well, gee willikers. I think I'll deal 2 strain.
Yeah, so basically, as they're going forward, they more or less run out of juice. But they do manage to hit a pretty resounding blaster hit on Kazan. So let me double check. 9. So that's 10 damage with 1 crit.
Alright, well, roll the crit and let me know what happens here.
We'll know what happens in probably about 10 minutes. Oh, you already have a critical injury from last time, too.
No, it's gone.
Is it? Who
Why
healed
would
it?
it not be?
No, a critical hit stay until your...
It was a till end of encounter one.
Yeah, no, it's in effect.
Is gone.
Yeah. You
What?
still...
No, it's from the last encounter. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's a till last encounter from the last encounter, which means it's gone.
No, it still counts. You just don't get the effects anymore.
But you still have that critical.
Yeah. So it's plus 10. You're not technically stunned, but you still have a big wound in effect. Alright, so this one is at the brink. Suffer 1 strain each time you perform an action. Alright, so they die. And yeah, they basically just completely, their batteries run down. They've even got the little power down noise that always seems to happen with electronics. And they drop their weapons. All right, PC next.
Marcus, you want to go or shall I?
You go ahead for now.
Okay, I'm gonna maneuver to get into short range of the other Scrapbot squad, and I'm gonna roll. Scathing to rad. So average check. So let me get that going, and I'm gonna go.
I'm so ready for this.
Overload them servos.
Yes, apparently they're gonna be like, "Why are you so mean?"
It's the classic line from It. Why is it so mean?
Oh, the Tim Curry version?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and remove your cover.
I haven't seen that since it was in the 90s.
Oof. It is. Other than Tim Curry, it doesn't hold up terribly well.
I would assume so, because Tim Curry has a sort of charisma that tends to steal the scene whenever he's in. You know, like in.
Yeah, he pretty much rules. Did you roll?
Yep.
Okay.
2 hits, so that's 2 strain damage straight.
All right. So yeah, you're yelling at them. They're looking really, really confused from behind their pile of rotten cabbages. It is a strange situation, you have to admit, being yelled at by a Toydarian.
Shame.
All right, a move in action. Were you doing anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, last PC.
Is Kazin like down, or what is the status?
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Oh, you are out. How much damage did you take?
I don't honestly remember how much I was healed, but going off of like what my token is still at, then I am definitely down.
Yeah, I saw. I've been keeping track of it. You're at 6, and how much soak do you have?
2.
So 8. So yeah, I think you're just at 0. I don't like negatives. Actually, yeah. All right, that's fine. So yeah, so he's down.
All right, I will use the med kit that we found last session, maneuver to ready the stim pack out of it, and jab it into Kazin as an action.
Oh well, okay. What is that? 6 or
If
7
it's your
base?
if it's your first one, then it's 5. You get 5 wounds back.
Okay, so I'm at 5.
All right. Were you doing another action or another maneuver?
No, that's it.
All right.
No.
All
I'm
right.
still in cover, right?
You are, yes.
Yeah, then I'm done.
All right. So the minion group, the Scrapbot squad, just kind of lays down suppressing fire, giving an advantage to, or a boost die to the droid with the lightsaber, who uses strain to advance. And now that he is in engaged range with Asaph, is going to swing on him. And Asaph, you don't have any defense, do you?
Nope.
And there's
Why is it Asaph every time?
he had to get into yelling range. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
My goodness, I have one weakness. That is getting hit with a baseball bat.
Boosts, purple. I'm not gonna upgrade. I want to give you that fate point back, but I don't want to roll too high.
Is this the big guy?
Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh! So, all right.
Hold on. Ugh.
So, no
I got a
successes.
thing I can do. I haven't looked at the thing. I guess it's too late now. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So, he swings on Asaph. Asaph, I would like you to describe what's happening as this robed Jedi droid is swinging his lightsaber frantically at you.
Just imagine that, like in what is it, Tex Avery cartoon when the guy is just swinging at a bird and all of that. That's what's happening right now. It's very, very embarrassing for the droid, as he's just swinging, destroying the scenery, all of this, and Asaph is just trying to like maneuver around.
Yeah, all right. So, with all this frantic swinging, he does manage to give himself 2 ranged defense until the end of his next turn, and is going to regain a strain. Actually, wait, I don't think you can do the same one more than once unless it specifies. Hang on. So he's got 1 range defense. He's got 4 left. So he's going to perform a maneuver to duck behind cover. So he's got 2 left. Yeah, I guess he'll just regain the 2 strain. All right, end turn. Next PC.
If no one has anything, what is the difficulty to shoot him?
Well, you're at short range, so it is 1 purple. He's behind cover, so that's 1 setback, and he has 1 range defense, so that's another setback. So it would be 1 purple, 2 black. And since you guys don't have a light side pool, I'm just going to tell you I will be upgrading.
So yeah, Gand is going to true aim. Gand is going to true aim, set his sights, look at the droid, set to stun.
Okay. All right, so tell me damage, tell me pierce, and tell me what you're doing with the advantage.
Gand is going to immediately spend that destiny point. To add his cunning to the damage.
Okay.
So grand total...
14, pierce 1.
The grand total is going to be 9 plus 2, 11, 14. 14 damage, pierce 1, it's all stun. And then... Yes?
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you doing with the advantage?
And then Gand is going to use that advantage to throw himself between the droid and the captain.
Okay. So yeah, you lay into him with a series of stun bolts. He seems to shrug off a lot of it, but he's looking. The glow from his chest is starting to lessen. All right. Anything else?
Well, that was my entire turn.
All right. Next PC.
I'm gonna have to do a coercion check here, see if this works. Let's see here. You want to upgrade?
You have to tell me first.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
We don't have any points.
We don't have any dice.
Yeah, you do. I used. Oh, that's right. You used one up again. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna upgrade.
As I'm just gonna start getting on this droid about all of this, be along the lines of, man, your friend that you're trying to avenge must not be that great, or whatever, because you don't know how.
Oh. So it's
Wow,
a.
that is.
Well, wait. Was it a coercion check or was it a scathing tirade? Okay, gotcha. All right. So what are you doing with the advantage?
Oh God, I am going to use that to give myself a. I can bump my defense up with 1 advantage. Yeah.
No, but you can give.
You know what? I'm going to use that to give the next NPC.
Setback. Yeah. That was what you're doing. I'm sorry, right?
Yes.
Okay, so next NPC that goes gets a setback. Were you doing anything else?
No, that's all.
All right. All right. I am going to say the lightsaber bot is going to go and take that setback. So essentially, he is ducking behind or ducking out of cover to lash out at Asif with its lightsaber, and then
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to use Sun's advantage. He gets 2 setback on his actions.
Okay. So there's no light side. I am going to upgrade. 5. Okay, so then purple, 3 setback, correct? 1 from Asif, 2 from Kazan.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Upgrade. Purple melee. All right. YOLO.
Fuck, you said YOLO.
Oh.
All right.
I was hoping you didn't say YOLO.
All right. So
Yola's wagons.
the bot lashes out with its lightsaber. Ooh, hang on a second. Forgot one thing. Actually, no, I didn't. So he does. Is that 3? So it's a total of 9 damage, breach 1, so essentially all soak.
I'm knocked out. What's the critical effect? What's the vision?
Yeah, just roll it on your character sheet. I think we're starting to get it a little bit better now.
Vicious doesn't give an auto crit. It
Well,
just gives a bonus.
Vicious
crit.
doesn't give an auto crit, but he knocked me down. I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, going above your wound threshold is what triggers a.
I thought that was subsequent attacks.
No, if you get knocked out, you get a crit.
So, what's the vicious on that saber?
There's not a vicious on the saber.
Oh, good, it's a training one.
It's breach 1, sunder. That's it.
Good thing I don't have to make any skill checks. I'm knocked out, man.
All right. Next PC.
Well, I'll go, I guess.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Still want me to take care of the little one? Feeling like maybe the big one is the correct choice here.
Is your gun have a stun
damage?
setting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maneuver
yeah.
to switch it to stun.
Gan's plan was to. Gan's plan relied on the captain yelling it to death. Please stun this thing.
Alright, well, I'll take 3 strain for the extra maneuver and taking an action.
Oh, no, it's a free
I
action
will-
to switch.
Yes, but I have to take a second one to aim to have any prayer of hitting this thing, so...
So its defense, its range defense has gone back to normal, but it is still behind cover. So it's 1 purple, 1 setback. And
Okay.
I am going to upgrade. Oh, wait. Shit. So do you want to upgrade? I've already told you I'm going to upgrade.
I would love to.
You
Do
have-
we have a point?
Yeah, I used one when attacking. So you do have 1 point.
Really? Okay.
He is safely hidden behind a disposed portable toilet, I guess.
Yep, that was me then.
All right, Marcus. Looks like it's you.
Alright, I will switch to stun. I will take 2 strain to additionally aim. Are you upgrading? I'm not upgrading my attack.
I'm not going to upgrade mine. Or
And
the
it's got
defense.
1 setback.
Yep. Ooh,
Hey, I hit it.
how much damage do you do?
7.
It looks like
It shrugs it all off, doesn't it?
he shrugs it all off.
Yeah. That's what I've...
Oh, it's a lot of fucking soap.
All right. Were you doing anything else?
That is that. All right, so 7 is the
I
lot.
did an action and 2 maneuvers. I did everything I could.
Okay. Next up is another NPC. Oh yeah, I need to remove one of these because... actually, hang on a second. There were 3. So I need to remove 2 of these. There we go. Now we're just at 1 PC at the 3rd slot and then 1 at the last. So The last guy, I mean, just open fire on Marcus. Green. Actually, no. He's gonna assist the lightsaber bot. So end of turn. PC goes.
Gand is going to spend a maneuver to get over to here.
Wait.
Gand is.
Sorry. When I said the robot was attacking, I thought he was I thought he was attacking. It was clear he was attacking Kaban because Kaban jumped between him and Asif.
Yes, I actually had an entire thing where I was like, "Come on, Gand is right there," because you said Ace.
Shit. Sorry. It happens. All right. It happened the way it happened. Accept it. I must. All right. Never mind then.
Hey, Yoda.
Go ahead, Kaban.
Kaban is going to true aim with his second maneuver.
Yeah, pretty sure this is it.
Are you going to upgrade the difficulty?
Are you going to upgrade the difficulty?
Gand does not upgrade the difficulty unless Gand is having a really bad day or shooting at really far range.
All right, I am going to upgrade the difficulty.
Sounds like somebody's having a really bad day.
GYYBR.
And why double red?
I'm just upgrading it once. You should have a red and a setback.
Oh, I forgot the setback.
I mean, it doesn't really change the ultimate result here. Because that's a pretty solid roll.
Hey!
All dice have been canceled out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I rolled
Inspired by the death of the captain.
Gotcha.
a single black die is technically all dice canceling out.
Fair enough. All right, so it's on stun, so that is way too much stun damage for me to even really think about.
So yes, the total is going to be 12. Yeah, total's going to be 12 pierce. So that's going to be 6 stun damage based off of use of our assumed value.
The assumed value of his soak is 8. So
it is actually so Pierce was actually almost I thought it was 7.
Yeah, nope, it is 8. So just describe how you knock him out.
So Gand has up until this point been trying to actually hide behind cover and and keep himself grounded to keep Gand from being cut into pieces by the lightsaber. But after the captain was knocked out by the lightsaber wielding droid and not turned into the consistency of cured meat, Gand decided to say, there is no such thing as fighting defensively against a thing that wants to kill you. So Gand just kind of lined up a clear shot, let all of Gand's distractions float away, and Gand just fired the stun bolts into the droid, knocking it out.
All right. So anything else from Gand?
Oh man, how to use this critical?
I mean, he's out. Oh, that's right. You can use something else.
Can Gand... Oh man, I feel like is there some way to get rid of to do something vital and get rid of these to end the combat?
You have a knife in you that you can just throw.
Does Gand have a knife?
I mean, baseline.
Because that's what I'm thinking. You just shoot one guy and then you throw with your free hand and then throw a knife at the other one. Like it's
You know what? Just use a destiny point. Because there are two light side. There should be 4 dark side. I'm not sure why it keeps.
Oh, Gand actually has a utility belt, which I think has a rule about things.
he has a box cutter.
Yeah, Gand 100% has like a bladed item.
Yeah, I'll just use a dark side point to say the combat ends. The last one just powers down. So there are several droids, scrap droids, that are now powered down. The lightsaber wielder is actually powered down, not destroyed. One of the scrap bots closest to you is powered down, and then the other one over here is powered down. So there are there's 3 functional droids that just aren't operational at the moment.
If Marcus can handle triage for the captain, Gand can go turn those droids that are off into droids that are the equivalent of dead.
How about you save their computer cores?
I'm AFK again, so if you want me to make medicine rolls, just have somebody else roll for me, please.
That was assent to the Gand's plan, yes?
Yes. Go ahead.
Alright. So yeah, what should the Gand be rolling to turn this shutdown into a more permanent solution?
I mean, if you're talking about killing them, you could just shoot them. Just use them as target practice.
Gand was going to try and just take out vital components, take them apart.
Just disconnect the computer core.
It's probably going to be a mechanics roll.
Yeah, I'd say average or 2 purple and then 1 boost because they're really poorly made. Oh, except on the lightsaber one.
Well, Marcus can roll that one too if you want.
Oh, Gand is going to do the mechanics check for the lightsaber one.
Yeah, Kazan sort of stands up and walks over and begins examining it, and during the course of that, he's definitely going to pick up the lightsaber and start fiddling with it and trying to figure out more.
So I can tell you about the lightsaber really quickly. It is attached to a cord that is that winds up the droid's arm underneath its robe, and is inserted into its chest plate. Other than that, it looks like a fairly standard lightsaber that would have been used about 20 years ago, ish. So fairly new.
So yeah, 3 successes, 2 threat. Yeah, 3 successes, 2 threat. As Gand attempts to disassemble the lightsaber wielding droid.
I'm going to say, can you please get me a copy of the computer core? Because it's you. I wouldn't say please for someone else.
All right.
I mean, Gand is just going to try and get you the computer core.
Oh, that works too.
All right, so got it. You are dismantling the droid, essentially?
Gand is dismantling this droid with hopes to then dismantle the rest of the droids.
All right. With that roll, yes, you managed to dismantle the lightsaber wielder. And then I'd say the others, I mean, it's negligible. There's really no reason for you to have to roll it. You just disable them post-haste.
Meanwhile, does anyone know what Marcus's medicine skill is?
I will in a moment.
I thought he was still on mic.
I'm AFK. I'm in the kitchen right now, so I can't roll any.
So, medicine is just straight intelligence, unless he's updated his sheet. So, it'd just be 4 green. For medicine.
I thought I put something in there.
Not on your character sheet.
Oh, well, silly me then.
And then the difficulty to rouse the captain.
Oh.
Or actually, you know what? Isn't that's just a stim pack? That's just hitting him with a stim pack.
I mean, yeah, if you don't want to try and heal him. I mean,
Probably try to heal him first.
yeah. Actually, yeah, I'll let you guys suss it out.
All right, then Marcus, you're trying to heal him. Would that be against the critical injury, or is there a static difficulty?
There's a static difficulty if they're at 0. So current wounds exceed wound threshold is hard. And
Is
then
that 2 or 3? I never
3.
remember.
I can't either. It's 3 if the wounds exceed the threshold. It's 2 if they're more than half, but not over.
All right, so it's 4 green, 3 perp.
So what it sounds like.
Done that twice.
I'm going to say the 2 threat would be strain on Asif. Oh wait,
no, that was strain on me then. If it's strain, because that first one, that 2 green, purple, and a boot, that was me disassembling the droid.
Oh, that's right. All right. No, then I already used that. So yeah, it's I guess it's 4 wounds healed and 1 strain healed, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could use a medicine as well. I have been shot. I don't know if you're aware.
I mean,
It does take more than that to stop a bull moose.
look, you guys with your getting critically injured and getting knocked and getting like heavily damaged during combat, Gand is a little bit high on combat drugs right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to fight all the fucking droids alone? Kaysen will leave them for you next time so you can handle it like a man.
Well,
Gand-
Jason also has a proton torpedo. He could have just chucked it.
Gand is very glad that Kazin fought alongside Gand.
I never in a million years thought that putting that 3rd fucking point in agility would make me the other combat character.
You have more agility than the Gand. The Gand just has like 4 3s. The Gand is actually really poorly built every time I think about it.
I'm only agility 3. I don't even have a point in a ranged combat skill. I am
God.
the first other combat character.
Oh god, I keep thinking you have 4 in agility.
I have 4 willpower.
I keep thinking you have that because I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's why he's the pilot because he's better than the Gand. And I just
we didn't want everybody to be the same thing, and you can be a dedicated gunner, which is a perfectly fun thing. So I took the other agility so that I could be the pilot.
Again, the Gand has 4 threes. Like the Gand has 4 soak, mostly off the back of the fact that he's wearing heavy clothing and has 3 brawn.
We should get you power.
Well, I would like to try to make. Well, I guess we don't have really time to examine things in depth, so yeah, I guess I'll just sort of like wrap the lightsaber up in some scrap cloth or something and tuck it in my bag.
We got plenty of time.
You're going to need to detach the lightsaber first. And that's going to be a mechanics check.
That was part of what I was doing when I was disassembling the droid.
Well, unplug it, I guess.
It's more complicated than that. It's going to be a mechanics check. Like its own mechanics check. Just disassembling the droid, that's one thing. Disassembling the lightsaber, that's another. Disassembling the power crystal that's in its chest, that I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it is, that's another.
Oh man! I found the big crystal! I found
Marcus
the
calls
bigger
dibs.
crystal!
Marcus calls dibs.
Well,
He's the Jedi nerd.
You can have the power crystal, I guess. I've already got the lightsaber, as long as the lightsaber works.
Yes, but how much can we pawn for these?
All right, well, let's one step at a time. Let's get the stuff first. You have to get it out. So
is Marcus still AFK?
I just sat back down.
All right, so
and
you
I'm
can
opening my sheet to see if I did actually buy medicine or not.
You can roll your mechanics check then to get your crystal and to get the crystal star and also the lightsaber off the. All
right,
so,
what's the difficulty in the mechanic?
all right, so what are you doing first?
I imagine first I'm disconnecting the lightsaber from the crystal, and then disconnecting the crystal from the droid.
Okay, so disconnecting the lightsaber is actually going to be 4 purple and 1 setback.
4 purple.
And are you going to upgrade?
Should I upgrade, guys?
we're at 3 and 3.
I think if you feel like you're gonna have trouble, go ahead.
Alright, I'll upgrade.
I'm upgrading too. So it's going to be
Rude.
3 purple, 1 red. And 1 setback.
Oh, can I, I'd like to try to make a sense on the...
Hey, I got a triumph.
You need a setback as well.
Did it not? Oh, I did. No, I
You did a boost instead of... Yeah, so... but
yeah,
that's fine.
I typed B instead of S.
Yeah, I've almost done that a number of times. Let's see. All right, so it is 2 successes.
So it's 2 successes, 4 threat, 1 triumph.
All right. So
I swear, if this isn't one of those Force Ghost things you were mentioning that pops out.
all right, so you disconnect the lightsaber from the robot's arm. You are now holding the handle of a lightsaber.
Cool. Next, the power crystal.
Power crystal is 3 purple, 1 setback. Are you going to boot or
All right, then
upgrade?
I will not upgrade.
I
will
upgrading.
assist. I will assist.
So
Take a boost.
it's 2
That gives me a
purple,
boost.
1 red,
2
1
purple,
setback.
a red, a setback,
Yep.
a boost, a barking dog in the background.
A tisket.
Yeah, another triumph, but I failed.
What do you want to do with a triumph?
Maybe you can't get the crystal out, but you do have like the housing and the whole fucking like center part of the droid. You can take.
Yeah, I just take the torso segment out, so the whole torso storage unit comes out in one piece with the crystal in it.
Look, Gan could have just carried the droid if we were going to
Look,
we were going to do things this sillily.
I'm trying to work with what I got.
Yeah, so you now have a droid torso.
This is all based on one really bad ship owner's manual, by the way. Just as a reminder.
Okay, you say it's bad, but it's been allowing you to do a lot more things than what you've been taught.
Well, I've had to extrapolate. I've had to read a lot of study guides going through college.
Spark notes.
Space notes.
All right, so yeah, you have the lightsaber, and you have the droid's torso with the gem inside it.
Cool. We'll worry about that later then. Did somebody roll medicine checks for everybody already?
I have not been medicine. I think someone else did already.
The captain got the medicine check to get up.
Yep, I'm feeling better now. Let's not do that again.
We are slowly increasing in competency. By the next time we have to fight something that is quite insane, Gand believes no one will be knocked unconscious.
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is that what was supposed to be a simple refueling run has turned into a crazed gunpowder plot. And the people responsible for all of this is in this room. And we got a meeting, and I'm going to look at the Hollow Watch, or the chronometer. When is that meeting supposed to...
2 hours. Oh, well, 3 hours.
We got 3 hours to get ready. So let's get back to the ship's refresher, get ourselves ready, and
Definitely
perhaps
need to
have-
stop at the refresher.
we went through a sewer.
That's why I appended it with definitely.
Good.
Are we in like an actual like section of the ship that appears to be at least at some point part of the deck? Like, are there doors we could take?
How are you meaning? So basically, you're in a long corridor that you came in one end. It just keeps going out to the other side where the droids appeared from. So that is one way you could go, or you could go back the way you came. But
I vote not the back of the way we came.
you are roughly right around here.
What would be a rough estimate for the amount of time it would take for us to go back the way we came?
Not too terribly long, like maybe about 15 minutes.
And that would get us into a place where we could then get onto a functional, like, space station floor and then head back to the ship.
Well, that would take us back to storage in Synthburg, wouldn't it? That's where this whole party started, wasn't it?
Well, it started in storage, technically speaking, but you would emerge up here. Interestingly enough, the quartermaster is near the near the edge of the living quarters. Not actually near storage at all.
Well, he was talking about going back the way we came.
Yeah,
Isn't
going
that-
back the way you came would take you up to where the quartermaster was. Remember you heard him singing?
I don't remember, but I'll take your word for it.
Yes. So we can go up the ladder and up to there, and then go back to our ship. So let's just do that. When he asks about us popping, I will just say, long story.
Gand would like to check out where the arch droid was before we kind of ran headfirst into the lair before.
All right. So you're heading back down the tunnel towards where the droid showed up from. And once again, you see another panel that's been cut from the bulkhead. And behind it, you can kind of hear what sounds to be welding noises. And every now and then, you hear a little sad mechanical beep.
Well, anyone up to investigate?
Gand would like to approach this quietly, if that is all right. How good is everyone at doing at approaching something quietly?
A lot of us are messed up, Bob.
Gand will go on a scouting mission and then return.
All right.
So that would be me attempting a stealth check.
Give me a stealth check with a difficulty of 2 purple.
That is 1 advantage.
What are you doing with that?
I like it to be Gand cannot get close, but Gand is not seen, but the failure is Gand is not able to get close.
Okay. So you creep forward through the tunnel, and you find yourself in what appears to be an old and very unmaintained maintenance corridor. And at the end of this corridor, you see what appears to be an old, very beat-up astromech droid that is welding away on what appears to be a droid torso. And it is beeping mournfully. But you can't see more details.
Gand bids you greetings, droid in mourning.
So as soon as you speak, the droid, the little astromech, spins around and it holds out its little tiny manipulator claw and its welding arm, and it snaps its manipulator claw at you and sparks its little welding torch. And it seems to be standing protectively in front of the droid that it was working on.
Gand is here to hurt no one save for those who attempt to hurt the Gand first.
The astromech droid kind of repositions itself. It rolls around almost like it's looking past you, and then it turns its little dome head back to regard you, seemingly.
Gand has an associate who can understand you if you would prefer to communicate in a more direct manner.
The droid behind it suddenly seems to burst into life. Its arm shoots up and grabs part of the ship's bulkhead, and it pulls itself up. It looks like it's only half built. One of its arms is missing. One of its legs is missing. A good portion of its torso is missing. It has the same chassis as the other one, except its chest cavity is open and empty. Half of the droid's face lights up, It's a kind of a pale white coloration, not the soft green that the other one had. And it speaks. I apologize for his defensiveness. Why are you here?
Gand seeks only the truth and that which Gand is asked to find. Gand is here because Gand has been stranded here, and Gand needs to find a way beyond. So Gand has sought to seek solutions to problems facing the people who live here. Gand wishes to know what problems you have, so that Gand may find a solution.
So I just want to real quick back to the rest of the group. They're not that far away. You all hear Gand talking, I'm guessing kind of quietly.
I literally turned on the comm link and am broadcasting this.
Okay, gotcha. So it's. I just wanted to bring it up so that if anyone wanted to join in, they could.
Yes, I'll join in.
So the droid speaks and says, "My programming has not been completed yet. I can only translate what my maker says. I, as a unit, do not have any desires or wants."
And what does your maker want?
My maker wants justice for his friend. He was betrayed by the people that he was sworn to fight beside, that he was sworn to protect, that were sworn to protect him. And he was...
Gand will find this justice for your maker.
The only justice would be the death of the three, or of any remaining clones that were in the squad that slew the Maker's friend.
Then Gand will see this justice met out. And with that, Gand is going to start walking back to where the rest of the party is.
So as you turn around and leave, the droid leans back and slumps back onto the ground.
So, let's get this straight. The clones killed the Jedi. Is that what they're saying?
Yes.
Gand very much needs to understand the Clone Wars at some point.
They're gonna have to give us a very long lecture of this because apparently, they didn't talk a lot about it during the news.
I mean, I can tell you what the official story is. I obviously don't have any secret knowledge about it.
Well, I mean, in the official story, we're gonna have to really figure that out. But I guess we're gonna have to stop by the clone quarters soon.
Luckily, the clones will be at the meeting.
Yes, but I think we want to be able to talk to them before we do this.
Gand has been hired.
Oh, so you're just going to kill them at the meeting?
Well, Gand was not going to kill them at the meeting. That was incredibly gauche. Gand is going to consider and option.
Well, it depends on what is justice on here, because here's the big point. You have to remember is those clones seem to have a lot of regret over it, and then mention along the lines of not having any choice in the matter. Was this something that they were forced to do, or was this something that they did this maliciously? Original intent is very important, Dan, in terms of criminal justice.
Gand will listen. Let us
But
head
for
back
some
to the
reason,
ship.
you want to wait till the meeting.
What I want to suggest is we don't go kick down the door and start blasting people in the meeting.
Gand is not going to start blasting people at the meeting.
It sounds like Gand is going to bring this up at the meeting when we're already trying to reach a very delicate compromise.
Gand will not act in a manner to undermine Marcus or the captain's plans for compromise.
It's not about that. I think it's more along the lines of we're all trying to discover the truth of all of this, and this whole thing of crazed Jedi killing droids and all of this is pretty much a lot deeper than we thought, and we find out that apparently the clones shot and killed the Jedi.
Yes.
Question.
I could have told you that, like, days ago when we first met them. I guess it's hours ago, not days. Whatever.
Yes, we've been on this ship for not
Been on
more
this
than
ship for a long
24
time.
hours. We've been on this ship for not more than 24 hours.
It's game
Trying to
time.
compromise.
We've had like 6 sessions that all take place on this ship. It feels like.
Yes. So, let's get this going. So, well then, do we know how to get out of this?
Gand believes we can double back to when we were inside the bulkheads and find a way out there. Perhaps the route that you checked out that then you returned from.
Yes, let's do that.
Well, so I can tell you, because it has been days since you came down here, but it's only been maybe an hour. Less, actually. So if you go back into the big room with the trash pit, there are handholds on the wall that you could climb up. And that's how you climb down to begin with. And that chute would take you all the way up to the quartermaster's desk.
Yeah, that is what Gand was referring to, but Gand was blissfully unaware of the quartermaster's desk and the comedy therein.
So I'm sorry, did you say you were going to do that, or you were just proposing that to your crew?
Gand believes we are in agreement that we are doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So you make your way back.
I need a refresher.
Yeah, you make your way back through the tunnels into the trash chute. Take the handhold ladder all the way up to where the quartermaster droid is still kind of humming to himself, and he appears to be, as you emerge from the hatch on the side of the wall, he appears to be mopping up, humming to himself.
And then he says, "It's taking me to Funky."
Hello, friends. I am so glad you have returned. I was concerned about your well-being.
Well, it's been a very long day.
You all look really beat up. Is there anything I can assist you with?
A refresher.
You will find one of those in Carbon Town. We do not have need for such things in Synthberg. I can call ahead for you if you prefer.
Please do.
Gand would appreciate.
One moment, please. So he looks down at his comm, and you hear him speaking in basic. Yes, the life forms are on their way back. They have requested a refresher. My sensors suggest that they are quite smelly. Yes, they will be there soon. He turns back to you and says, you are now expected. We are still hanging out this weekend, right?
Totally.
Yes.
Outstanding. He goes back to
hammer
mopping.
out this council meeting and then party.
He's going to be so sad if you guys don't hang out with him. So he goes back to
Gand
mopping.
agreed to nothing.
He goes back to mopping and leaves you to make your way back to the checkpoint between the two cities.
And off we go.
All right. So you make the short walk down the tunnels, and eventually you get to the checkpoint. A Nemoidian greets you, and for those of you that are perceptive, you might notice that he's trying not to make a face. Given many of you are probably not necessarily familiar with Nemoidian physiology, you might not even notice, but he says, "Come this way. I will take you to the refresher area."
Just hose us down.
Oh, we are far more advanced than that. Right this way. So he takes you on a short journey to the living quarters. There is a facility that is actually pretty nice. You are allowed to take showers as long as you like.
Good.
So yes,
We got our clothes, like, dry clean, so we feel like new and all of that. So it's like great.
Oh yeah, they have little machines for that too that are basically like instant washers, instant dry cleaners.
Good. Gans duster is dry clean only, so it's good that there's instant dry cleaners.
It's like the jacket from Back to the Future 2.
Yes, the self-cleaning, self-drying.
But yeah, in short order, you're all clean again. You're all you can make yourselves presentable again, and then head to your next point of interest.
Also, Gand has half a mind that the clones might be trying to do a coup. So,
Okay, how many clone troopers are
We literally just fought the enemies that were trying to wipe out all life on the station, but you think this other group are the villains.
look, Gand got a vibe from the meeting, which is why Gand was like, Gand is not going to do anything at the meeting to stop it, but Gand is also going to be disappointed when the clones don't attempt a coup, and Gand doesn't have an excuse to shoot them, because Gand really likes it when the universe just kind of contorts to his whims. I wanted to get that out there and stated before we got to the tense negotiating.
So you're going to show up to the peace conference waving a sign that says clones aren't people.
No, again, the entire thing is that Gand is going to be operating entirely confident that the clones are going to do something. Gand believes it, and as such, when the clones don't do something, Gand is going to be disappointed.
You do realize there's only 3 of them left.
Look, Gand relies on Gand's hunches.
Let's not make sure you go on a sabacc table and
Or anywhere else for that matter.
But yes, I wanted to say that because I knew it wasn't like I know that it's entirely not like the plot that's happening, but just wanted to give the frame of mind for McGand so that like my actions kind of made sense in context.
So you're preparing your revenge in advance, basically.
That's how it works, yeah. The way of the Finesman.
Revengeance. So, let's do a hard wipe to the clones' quarters before the meeting.
I thought we were just discussing that we were not confronting the clones before the meeting. We were just going to the meeting.
Well, I want to clarify with them what really happened.
They killed the Jedi.
If the captain is gonna go confront the clones, Gand is backup, but Gand was not going to push for it. So we're talking to the clones.
So you are heading towards the clones.
Apparently we are. Marcus feels like the only voice in reason.
They did that, but it's along the lines of like, because the official story is that the Jedi just mysteriously died and no one knew.
No, the official story was the Jedi attempted a coup against the Republic.
Ship.
What?
The ship story is different from what happened on that planet in the center of the galaxy.
Coruscant?
I'm from there. You can't talk about it that dismissively.
Coruscant?
Gand believes it's called Imperial Center?
Oh yeah, that's the name of it, the Imperial Center, Palpy's place. Didn't they also blow it up with a mining station? Ah, yes, the Technodrome, but the Sheev's drone. I'm just thinking of Futurama.
Look, man, it's a nice stadium. The Dallas Cowboys play there.
Yes. There's also a giant statue of Palpatine, but it shoots out fire saying, "Remember me."
I will remember you. Just playing that in the background the whole time. So,
what's everyone's plan?
I guess we're knocking on the clones' door.
Jason has a data pad hooked up to the computer core and is reading the contents and not paying much attention.
All right. Oh, all right. So you're knocking on the clones' compound after having cleaned yourselves off. So after a short amount of time, the front gate buzzes open. You're allowed in, and as you approach the front door, the clone that you spoke with earlier, the really super old one, answers, "Yes. Hey, how are you all doing there?"
We're a little bit.
It's been a trip.
There. Yes, we've been on a very long trip throughout the station here. Could I do a charm test as a sort of etiquette thing to be able to broach this topic, like diplomatic?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Give me a second. So this is charm, right?
Yeah.
That would be against discipline, I believe. Oh,
Yeah.
Cool, actually.
And you're trying to diplomatically ask, did you murder the Jedi? Was it premeditated, or were you forced to? Is this a Nuremberg thing?
We encountered a group of, it's basically the idea is, the gist is, We encounter a bunch of droids that apparently were looking for revenge for the Maker. We just need to have the side of the story because one of them mentions is that the Jedi was actually killed by you guys, but official stories say that no one knew what really happened there.
So you're doing charm to kind of get him in a good mood before you bring that subject up.
Yeah, basically a sort of etiquette test, like to make sure I say the correct words, all of this, not to get the person on the defensive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So give me a check. It's only going to be three purple.
Okay, let's. Oh shoot! I rolled it on roll 20.
Oh yeah, we'll see it in about a minute or 10.
We'll see it at the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
We'll see it halfway through the council meeting. Suddenly the clones will bust in.
Except I only had one die. Or it's just loading right now. Never mind. I'm gonna roll it on roll 20.
Just do it and roll them.
Oh, there it is. There's your charm. that's like.
And I got 3 failures on roll 20. I mean, the roll dice chat.
Yeah, because I don't see any successes or any difficulty dice on roll 20.
Yeah, because I thought you set the difficulty. That's
Oh
my
shit!
bad.
My apologies. All right. So yeah, what do you want to do with the 4 advantage?
Basically, it's going to be a very difficult way to broach, so it's going to be along the lines of... He probably would like to actually ask more about these droids that were doing that then. It's along the lines of wanting to get more information first before we actually get the answer from him, right?
So you're asking you're asking about the droids?
No, he's asking me. That's the back and forth here.
Oh,
Because
okay.
once I mention those droids through that etiquette thing, he then doesn't give me an answer right away, so I know I have to give him more. So all of that, so to just keep this moving.
All right. So yeah, you mentioned the droids that you encountered, and I'm sorry. What was the wording exactly?
Oh God! One of them was wielding a lightsaber that was around 20 years ago and all, and they were able to hook it up on a droid. It seems. So it's very strange about that.
He narrows his eyes and says, "Who was able to do that? Who did that? Did the Synthberg people do that?"
It appears to be a sort of third faction. We were dropping down on them when they planned to kill everyone during the meeting.
Everyone. Synthberg
Yeah.
and Carbontown.
All life on the station.
A third faction. I don't know who else could pose a third faction besides
They were droids belonging to the Jedi, it seemed.
droids belonging to the Jedi.
Did the Jedi have an astromech droid or something?
He did, but we assumed that it'd been blown to scrap. There was an explosion when everything went down, and we.
Oh, quite the contrary. He's been building himself friends, apparently.
And he has been plotting revenge. Mostly with the prime directives to get revenge against you, to bring justice, so to speak. But kind of a strange idea of justice if it means killing everyone on board the station.
So the old clone sighs. It seems like he's deflating right before your eyes, and leans back into a chair, and has an extremely crestfallen look on his face. He says, "So these attacks were because of me and my men."
It seems to have been inspired by that, although I wouldn't want to say that directly.
Perhaps you can tell us. Was it because of you and your men?
I mean, could you tell us what really happened?
Might as well tell you what really happened. Not like any of this matters anymore. Not to me, anyway. So, in the middle of our mission, we got a transmission from Palpatine himself. "Execute Order 66," it said, and something snapped. I was no longer in control of myself. My men were no longer in control of themselves.
I'd like to make a sense.
Go for it. And I think it's going to be a post-discipline, too, if you're trying to read his thoughts.
I don't have the ability to read his thoughts. I can only do surface emotions.
He is incredibly remorseful. He feels incredible guilt. But at the same time, he feels like a flood of relief. So these emotions all hit you all at once. And
I'm gonna sort of turn towards the Gand and just sort of like slowly nod.
They're also a little overwhelming. So do with that what you will. But he continues and says, "So the order came in, and we just snapped to it. Without thinking, without hesitating, we opened fire on the Jedi and his droid. There was an explosion, and they fell through a section of the ship. We looked after them, and we couldn't find them. We remained vigilant in the months after, assuming that at any point the Jedi would potentially return. And when years passed, we began to relax a little. But it looks like justice catches everyone eventually." So we did what we could to make amends by helping the people of this ship. But now it turns out that our actions are the cause of more of their misfortune. He just shrugs and holds out his hands.
Marcus,
In what?
quick thing. Could you tell me how Jedi deals with justice? Do they go around executing the guilty and all of it?
Our Jedi certainly didn't. He was a man of incredible honor. He would not have wanted this. He would have wanted some justice, but not blood.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yes, the justice needs to be done, but I do not believe is that the price that is being demanded seems to be very excessive. And you mentioned is that you snapped straight into it with no qualms or hesitation, even though it would be very difficult for someone that you were fighting with for.
Yes, was this a conditioned response? Was this part of your training? These orders?
We've talked about it. We talked about it for weeks, months after it happened, trying to figure out what it was. I'm the only one who remembered hearing Order 66. None of my men heard such words. It seems their memories snapped just before they got the... We believe it's some sort of trigger. But beyond that, we don't have a clue.
So it's not as if you were trained to execute certain orders on certain preconditions. This was...
No, this is...
More like
unknown.
program like a droid, if I may be more blunt.
Yes, I'm just wondering how that would be done. If it's part of the cloning process, is that unique to clones, or is it some technique of the Force, or
Yes, that's
just
all very
military
academic,
brainwashing?
but in practicalities terms,
Gan
In practical
believes
terms is that they had no free will at all in this. This was something that was done automatic with them having no knowledge about it at all. I mean, how would you feel if suddenly all your actions were then dictated by something that is beyond your...
Well, the problem is going to be explaining that to a droid whose actions are dictated by programming.
I don't think it has to be explained. You're talking about the astromech droid?
Yes.
I looked to the Gand, who was buddy-buddy with the astromech droid.
Gan believes that the droid's revenge is best interpreted. Gan believes the droid's revenge is best interpreted by the removal of these clones from this and their relocation. Gan does not know if relocation is possible for clones, but Gan believes it is the exile rather than death. Should be enough to keep the astromech droid from considering this community.
Yes, but the astromech also decided wanting to kill everything aboard the space station, too.
Yes, you have to change the mind of the droid by convincing it that pre-programmed actions are not valid when it is driven by pre-programmed actions.
Gan does not believe so. Gan simply believes we will take the clones away and we will tell the droid that the clones are dead. Exile is the same as death if they don't come back.
But we're talking about a droid that is going along the lines of trying to seek revenge and justice. It seems to be just revenge
The
for
droid
its old
was-
master.
The droid was going to. The droid was
The
going
droid
to
was going
destroy
to
everything
end
here.
everything here.
Yes, the droid. We take the droid with us and take it apart. We certainly don't leave it here to potentially kill all the sentients here, if we're getting involved at all.
We're already involved. I mean, generally...
The droid has already spent decades trying to kill everyone. Why do you think it would stop now? Why do you think it would accept a compromise? What happens if it finds out the truth at some later point? Somebody mentions that the clones left instead of were killed.
Or perhaps the droid can be reasoned with, to be along the lines of, what would its master truly want for justice? And odds are, it would probably
That worked
be
great with the other one.
Oh, yes, indeed. That one was so...
Yeah, given that we already tried that and that failed, I don't have high hopes for that. Never mind, we're going to brush aside the droids that have already attacked us personally as a result of this droid's actions.
Gan will point out that if we do not brush that aside, we should consider all the droids on this station to be compromised.
How do you
That is
make
very
that leap?
dangerous thinking right there, Gan.
Gand is aware, which is why Gand does not ascribe to it, as the vulture droids shot on us before anyone else even cared.
I'm pretty sure that we were already in contact with the station when that happened, and we had knowledge that they were expressly trying to prevent that from happening. I'm pretty confident. My memory might be wrong in that.
ultimately, This whole station just wants the war to be left behind and forgotten about.
There is a simpler solution. Droids oftentimes undergo routine memory wipes. We don't need to destroy the droid, just subject it to a routine memory wipe.
Now I'm picturing in the chat talking about droid cops. Now I'm just imagining like the two cops from The Simpsons, but as robots.
I am thinking along the lines of I mean, those two options are the same thing to a droid.
Are they?
Yeah, kinda.
Gand believes
Yeah.
so, yes.
Maybe I'm not as familiar with EU lore as you guys, but I have never seen memory wipes equated with death.
Yeah, because there again, we come back to the same
We
logical
come back
fallacy
to-
involving droids.
We come back to the droid problem of either you acknowledge that droids are people, ergo they are a slave underclass, ergo they must be liberated, which is the game I run on Wednesdays, or you pretend that they're not, and none of that matters. They are just machines.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, that's the George Lucas way: is fucking having your cake and eating it too.
They either can die, or they can be memory wiped. There is no middle ground.
Alright, unfortunately, I now have to go. I apologize, but my time is up.
Okay. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
See you next week.
Somebody doesn't like droids.
But as I said in the chat, Gand really wanted to see Marcus just say to the droids, "So here's a droid. You should give it a memory wipe instead of killing."
I mean, it's also another running gag is like, you know, you can tell a person is an ass or not by how they treat droids.
That is very true. Which, like, that is a very, very Star Wars thing.
Yeah, Lando wanted to have sex with his droid. I'm not judging.
Hey, he didn't by later. He hated droids later on and ignored them.
For some reason. Although, that might have just been 3PO. 3PO was really annoying.
He doesn't pay any attention to droids any other time in this.
Okay, yeah. But here's the big thing: he had Lobo, you know, Lobot or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Lobot's just a cyborg, though. It's just a person with fucking like plugins. That's like
Yeah, but
that's like equating.
3PO. The running gag is no one pays attention to him. He's annoying.
Yeah, I'd not pay attention to him if I could help it. But that's all besides the point. You're the kind of the crux of your situation is you have three factions that you're trying to negotiate some sort of balance with. In addition to the fact that one of those, actually three factions, the clones seem to more or less be falling in line with what Carbon Town wants. So really, 3 factions. One wants to kill everyone. The other wants some stuff. The other wants some stuff. And I think they're like... We're probably at about 1.5 hours until the summit.
Yeah.
I mean, this
And
is
I'm
pretty
gonna say
simple.
is that, I mean, the biggest thing is, like, as Gan said, exile, but it's not like exile in that sense. It's more along the lines of trying to find out the truth of what really happened. It's like, does the droid even know about that part of Order 66? Yes or no?
You can't. The bottom line is we can't trust the droid being left here. The droid was willing to kill everyone, innocent or not.
Yeah,
So
it's a danger.
You can't leave the droid here, right? It's not take the clones away. Like, it's take the droid.
See, yeah, the biggest thing is that, like, the Gand basically... So, the Gand's perspective is that the droid's desire for revenge is totally valid.
It's valid, but is it really what it was, going off with what its masters would really wish?
So
Because as they kept saying last session, they're going off by the will of their master.
Kazin
Correct.
doesn't disagree with Gan's interpretation that the droid perhaps does deserve some kind of revenge or closure, but the bottom line is that, like, Kazin is fairly, like, selfish / like, goal-oriented, and helping the droid specifically does not get us our fucking refueling and get off the station. It actively hinders our ability to get off the station if we try to side with the one astromech droid.
And the Gan is interested in finding the truth.
Yes. Also, did the audio just go weird during that? Like I was priority speaker.
Like, I heard like a little bit of an audio jarble.
Cause I have priority speaker set for the game I run, and like I was hitting the control key, which is what I set that for, and it sounded from my perspective like I was priority speakering, and I wanted to make sure that if that was the case, so I had my keybinds for this game. I mean, I don't know how much of it is Carbon Knight and the rest of the players metagaming, but it feels really open and shut because the clones just admitted to.
I mean, the big thing is that it's also along the lines of, like, intent too. It's like, congratulations, you had someone that was brainwashed to just pull this off, and they're going to be horrified that they shot and killed their best friend.
Like, intent is super important in, like, criminal justice.
And this is a criminal justice case because the person was murdered.
That's super fair, but I kind of sort of roll back to the Gan Feinsman default ideology of Gan Feinsman, no sense of right or wrong.
Well, I think a decision needs to be made, and I think that the smartest way to do it is to basically just look like who cares the most in the party about it, right? Like, who has the strongest opinion, and what's the most Star Wars solution?
If the group opinion aside from the Gand is we should probably get rid of that astromech somehow, the Gand will happily go along with that. Be a bit disappointed, but the Gand gets it.
I feel like the most Star Wars solution is to lean into backing the droid and uncovering the truth. I feel like that's the most Star Wars solution.
It depends on what sort of Star Wars solution. We're going with a stereotypical light side choice. It's to basically have both sides be able to forgive each other.
Well, I don't. Yeah, but the point is, like, whether or not we strive for that doesn't really matter. The important thing is that we back the astromech droid coming to the gathering and, like, finding out the truth. And then even if that just, like, descends into absolute chaos and a shootout, then, like, I think it was still the most Star Wars thing to do.
That actually is a good idea.
Because the point is whether we are leaning into it for the Gans reasons of being a Findsman and wanting revenge, or at least the truth, and for the astromech droid to have a voice in the situation, or we're doing it for altruism to try to protect people, doesn't really matter. What matters is how the situation is going to shake out as a result of our actions. And I think that the way that it shakes out if we introduce the astromech droid is that shit potentially goes to fucking Christchurch on a cracker, and God knows what happens next. And that's very Star Wars, for everything to go to shit and us to have to pick up the pieces and try to run away. So I think that, don't err on the side of caution. Turn into the fucking heel turn kind of thing is the Star Wars way. Embrace the suck is how Jarhead would say it.
I think that's what I will do. I will ask if I will let the clones know and be able to let them know is there's going to be, I guess, another person in the meeting coming. And we're going to just see how crazy it goes.
So what I'd like to ask you guys now, we have about 18 minutes. One of us is not here for this. So what I'd like to ask you is, do you want to role play this out, or do you want me to tell you what, or do we want to kind of blow through this part?
I think we should. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, I have no problem with either.
I feel like we should wait for the other person in the party to be here, especially given I believe they have, strong opinions.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he was for Team Let's Shoot the Droid, so it's okay, yeah.
So I feel like we should probably wait for them, for him to come, to be at the next session. So I think, what might be smart is to, next session, fast track right into everything happening at the beginning so that we can make up for the little bit of loss. I mean, we're losing, 20 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, negligible.
Not that much.
It's not, a big deal to just, save that for the player that had to go, right? Especially with all the shit that's going on in the world, it's certainly forgivable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is for this last 17 minutes, we can just say, here's what we're planning to do, here's how we're going to approach it, and here's how we'll start the next session.
Okay. So yeah, you guys go for it. The clone is looking pretty tired and says, "Look, if you don't mind, I think I need to get some rest. Just take a nap before the summit. So I have a little bit of energy.
Okay.
I'll be here if you need me. Otherwise, I'll see you at the summit."
I'll see you at the summit too.
So he escorts you out, and presumably goes to take an old man nap.
Okay, so here's the idea that Kazan suggested. We go and invite the droid to the summit itself so that it can actually air its grievances. The clones can talk with it, and then we just see what happens. Is this correct?
Were you asking the players or were you asking the GM?
I was asking Kazan.
Say it again. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to the GM. I spaced for a second.
Oh my god.
I'm assuming.
really sorry.
I'm assuming no one's asking the GM anything unless they say question for GM or context.
Or
Yeah.
they just then declared that they look straight at the camera.
Sorry. I apologize. It's my bad.
No, that's fine. So, here's what Kazan suggested, and correct me if I'm got it wrong from how I'm rephrasing, just digesting this. We invite the droid to the summit. It airs its grievances. The clones airs their grievances. There's going to be lots of back and forth on this, and we're going to get a front row seats on this.
Yeah, we see how it plays out. We force Furious to talk to himself a lot.
I will give you a synopsis. I'm thinking the best thing to do would be some maybe negotiation checks, maybe some charm checks, however, whatever social checks you guys want to do, and that will kind of dictate the way I narrate the discourse.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
I do just want to say as well that like that is not what Kazan suggested. That's what me, the player, Phil, suggested. Because Kazan is like indifferent to this proceeding. He thinks it's a waste of time. He thinks it's a fucking droid. Like if Gan has a strong opinion, he'll back the Gan. But like if the Gan doesn't have a strong opinion, then Kazan just thinks that it's a waste of our time, and we need to focus on getting the fuel, even if we have to see.
Okay, then. So I will just suggest that be something my character would say in character.
Perfectly fine.
Then I will then turn toward the Gan and say, would this satisfy your search for the truth and justice?
Gand.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Good.
by the way, Circle Master just came back in case no one saw that.
Yes. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all
No,
good.
it's fine. We're trying to get everything set up for the next session. So,
I'll give you a
the idea
synopsis.
is actually to invite the droid into the summit. Make sure it doesn't do anything incredibly stupid, like, say, set itself off, but more along the lines of air its grievances, all of that, and then the clones talk, and then we're basically going to be doing damage control, all of that.
We had an out-of-character discussion, and what I proposed was essentially that the most Star Wars thing to do in this situation is the thing that is most likely to blow up. And the thing that is most likely to blow up and also satisfies all parties is to just throw the droid into the meeting and see what comes out of it.
Probably blaster bolts.
Maybe so, but that is, I feel, the most Star Wars thing to do. Whether we do it for our own because it's altruistic, or whether we're doing it because the Gan feels like the droid has a right to revenge, then it doesn't really matter. What matters is that what we do.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, does your character agree to that, Circle? Is that a good idea or not?
It's probably the closest thing to a compromise. Marcus kind of doesn't respect Gan's philosophy or epistemology at this point, but
oh my goodness.
isn't going to fight about
Study
it.
of faith?
Sorry,
Again,
epistemology.
my favorite low-key feud in this is Marcus as, like, a alerted man versus the literal, like, guy who was raised to just kind of, just keep poking at it and, like, looking for signs.
Well,
Yes, the crazed mystic that lives in the caves.
it's both of us, actually. It's both of us versus him.
Yes, but, like, you're far more practical than the Gand. Gand is very impractical because his religion was the dominant political faction on his home planet.
And then the faction that won was the one that said we really need to build a fucking bridge. And they got a bridge built, and it was amazing for the Gan, because now they could go to the other side of the river.
Oh, the problem is then the Empire showed up.
Yes. Those Schwabs. So I guess we got that going. So unless we have anything else planned, I think we can call it Kip.
Yeah, I think so too.
I did want to bring up the issue of the boost dice now that we're out, or once we're out of session.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, now that we're out of session, can I just say that, like, after reading it, it very much reads that one boost die gives whatever the next check by that character is, which is wild.
Yeah,
The discussions...
not so much that the boost die goes to whatever the next check is, as much as from what I've read on it, most people interpret it because it is not called out as repeatable the way that recovering strain is. You can only pass on one to the next for one advantage, and one to a specific person with 2 advantage, and that is it. You cannot do any other boost dice.
I have heard that interpretation before as well, and it makes sense. That is definitely a point of discussion. As for the original, every writing that I've ever... It's not mentioned in any of the FAQs, and I believe that's because it is so widespreadly understood from every discussion I can ever find and every example I've seen of it, including it being run officially at stream events, that it basically just carries forward to whatever the next actual check is, and then it wipes at the end of the encounter. So, like, if you were to pass a boost die forward and there just wasn't another check, then it just goes away at the end of the encounter.
Right, but if you pass it forward to another check, and, like, the next ally doesn't do a check, but the one after that does, since that's the next check, they get the boost die.
Exactly, that's what I'm...
Yeah, that's the interpretation that, like, I have run it as, and will continue to run it as, because I like...
I have seen every written example of it, like in discussion threads about the boost die carrying forward and stuff like that, as giving that example. I have also seen, like I said, when it's been run by Fantasy Flight for events, like on streams, I have watched several of them, that is how it is run there as well. There is not, that I have found in searching today, there is not any official example, and it's not in the official FAQ.
Yeah, from what I read, like, they said it on a podcast once, which is very much how FFG does it. They are very ad hoc in their rulings, and
well, they definitely
by
are
the
now.
seats of their pants.
They fired their entire fucking RPG department, and now it's out.
Even before then,
yeah.
like, Netrunner, since 2013, like, the lead designer's Twitter account was the #1 source of errata for years.
Yeah.
Because somebody would ask him a question, he would tweet his response, and then that was the official rule. So you had to follow this guy's Twitter.
All right, so here's the question, right? So if we're basically saying rules can't be trusted as they're written, then that opens up a lot of different questions. Like, okay, so recover 1 strain. This option may be used more than once. Rules as written. Does that mean that if it doesn't have this option may be selected more than once, then none of the rest?
That is the interpretation that
That's
I
the interpretation.
Commonly, yes.
So only one boost die can be pushed forward.
Yeah, that is what I'm seeing people argue for. I have not played it that way in the past, but
That
2,
like
right.
You could do 1 for 1 advantage and 1 to a specific player for 2 advantage. So 2 boost dice maximum.
Okay.
that seems
And there are other
Dude.
things. I think auto fire is one that calls out it can be used more than once.
Yeah.
So there are things that say you can do this more than once.
Yeah, and like I chose not
The vast
to get...
majority don't.
Yeah, I chose not to get a +2 range defense because it didn't say could be selected more than once. So the way we're seeing it is, all right, it's not the next active characters check, it's the next allied characters check.
The next check performed by any ally.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the wording. Which
It's not in Edge of the Empire.
Yeah, no, in the Edge of the Empire book, the wording is... do you agree with the wording I posted in the text chat?
What I'm seeing is literally add 1 boost to the next allied active characters check.
Well, no. I posted in my read of it in the after it brought up, which is the 1 advantage carries forward into a boost die to the next check by the player from that roll.
No, I don't read it that way.
Oh yeah, no, I don't either.
Well, because here's the thing: it uses active player.
It says
Active player elsewhere is used to indicate the person who rolled it.
Wording is next allied active character, which means if you rolled it, the next allied character that goes after you would get it, hands down, whether they made a check or not. And if they didn't make a check,
this is
as written.
This is interpretation, because if you strip out everything except the object of the sentence, you could say it's not character, it's check. The next, check. and Badada is just qualifying the check. You see what I'm saying?
That's not the way I read it. If that's the way 100% of the rest of the group reads it, that's fine. I can just disagree and run it the way that everyone thinks it should be run.
You can okay. Let me just see if everyone agrees with me here. Okay. I think that the majority of people run it either as you can only carry one boost die, and it goes to the next check, regardless of whether or not that is 3 or 4 allies later, or the next ally, or what. Or they run it that way, but multiple boost dice. Those are the two most popular options. I have never heard of or seen the interpretation that you're forwarding now. I'm not arguing whether or not it's, a terrible idea or something like that. I'm just saying I've never ever seen it run that way. Now, if you want to run it that way, as that's the way you interpret it and that's the way you want to run it, that's your prerogative.
No, I don't think I've ever implied that. I'm saying if everyone else disagrees with my interpretation, that's fine. I'll run it the way most people want to see it. But as written in the rulebook, it says next allied active characters check. That's literally the way it's written. My interpretation is the next allied active character that goes gets a boost die to their check. And if everyone disagrees with that, that's fine. I honestly, the only reason I care is I want to run this in the way that doesn't piss everyone off, because that's not the way this system was designed. I'm just saying I don't agree with that. If everyone else wants it to be the next allied character that makes a check, cool. But I do think that we should, if it doesn't say this option may be selected more than once, you can only do one.
Yeah, I agree that you can only do one for one advantage and then the 2 advantage option. So the maximum boost dice you can pass on is 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By doing each of those things once.
Because otherwise it gets
ridiculous. I will argue in favor of considering the next check, because otherwise it can punish people for taking actions in combat that's not like combat. Like the turn where I pulled out a med kit and shoved the stim pack into somebody's arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If somebody had passed on a blue die and my option was I have to lose that blue die to heal this character, when I could probably make roughly a better combat check instead. Like, I would rather not punish the players for opportunity cost more than they already are, I guess.
Well, not only that, what I would also say further than that is, frankly, I think it's just to interpret it that way, and I'm not saying you're ascribing to this, I'm saying if it's played that way, I think it tends itself towards pedantry, because when you look at the way the turn order actually goes, any PC can go at any time.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is making an additional level of complexity that doesn't add anything useful.
Well, you're always asked to make decisions in a game. Whether or not there's a mechanic to it or not. Like right now, you're being asked to make a decision. Should we you could have really easily just killed that astromech droid and the robot it was making. You could have done that, and it wouldn't have even been a combat. You would have just done it, but you chose not to. And I see it the same thing as, okay, well, mechanics wise, do I want to do a thing now? And I was forced with the same issue. Did I want to take a round with a setback and then essentially 3 setback? Or could I have let my scrub bot handle it and get the setback and then clear up the setback from the big guy?
Yes, but the decision you're talking about there would not change in the interpretation of the rules that we're talking about.
But you just... I'm arguing to the point that you're bringing up. And honestly, it's so much of this is a moot point. Honestly, let's just pick how we want to play it, because I'm not going to agree that the way I'm reading it is wrong. If they had meant the next allied character that makes a check gets a boost die, it seems like it would have been written as such, or it would have shown up in an errata. But again, doesn't matter. It's besides the point. It boils down to how do you guys want to play the game. And if you all agree that you want to play the game this way, it honestly doesn't matter what I think. So if you guys all agree, cool. Let's agree and move on.
Yes. I agree. There's not really any more need for discussion, and we totally understand that you're not interpreting it that way, but for the purposes of this game, we're going to run it.
Yeah, perfectly
this way.
fine.
Yeah.
So one boost die for one advantage gets passed forward to the next active character. 2 more advantage gets 1 boost die to any allied character. But the thing fine, just...
Okay, 1 second.
Hold on.
Like setting a cap on using advantages to get boost die?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because by most people's interpretation of the rules, and the way that I'm reading it as well, you can't just get 5 advantage and pass 5 boost dice on to the next person.
Yeah, which is how I originally interpreted it. And I disagree. Sorry.
Okay, no, I just was a bit on that because it's like, okay, so we just need to be a bit more creative with our advantage. Because there's other things you can do. You can say there's a interesting thing that pops up with like 3 advantage. You can say you can introduce a certain piece of the walls and all of that. Like a gate that can close down and just make it a lot harder for the melee character to go through.
Yeah, and making it so that if you get 3 advantage and you want to spend that on boost dice instead, you should be giving up something significant. Like, it shouldn't always be the automatic choice, all of my advantage goes to boost dice.
Oh, yes, because that's actually going to be the best one, because more dice is more chance
of success. Yeah, and we saw that on at least one of the rolls that I made. And, now I feel a little cheap about it, because I think I rolled a whole bunch of... I rolled at least 2 advantage.
I think at one point you rolled 7 advantage.
Yeah, 7 advantage and nothing else, though. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain point when I was first running, and I'm like, oh god, you guys are getting so many advantages but no successes. How about we just say every 3 advantage you can convert it to a success, so you guys can keep. But it's like that sort of thing, you're just learning, and then it's that. But it's also, the dice are really like, can go either way, so there's no set of like, okay, there's this consistency that's going to happen when I roll this dice.
Yeah, and honestly, too, for my part, I need to be better about giving you guys more options on spending advantage and threat in certain environments. So what I'm planning on doing is because I think there's one source book that has all different kinds of tables for threat and advantage in like jungle.
I know what you're talking about, like in using it in an urban set.
Yeah, it's the soldier handbook, I think, or the commander, one of the two.
I mean, that's actually lots of fun and all of that, but it's also along the lines of getting people to start thinking in like different ways. It's like, okay, instead of just saying I pass a boost die, can you give me something that will be a lot more interesting?
Yeah.
Like maybe the person you're negotiating with has like lots and lots of empty soy cap cups.
Yeah, but some of that should be on us because, it's not up to the GM to have all of the creativity.
No,
and
but
part of what the system is supposed to do is give us the agency to create those kind of circumstances by spending advantage.
Yeah, which is a big thing, and some players are like really not used to.
So I want to give you more options, especially if we're limiting one particular option. So my understanding, consensus moving forward, it's a boost die gets added to the next allied player's check. for 1 advantage. For 2 advantage, it could be any players.
A question.
Mm-hmm.
Is giving a single boost die valued at 2 advantage, is the gate on a single player, or is the gate giving a boost die? Because I would argue, but not very strenuously, because as I said at 10 p.m., book rules are for squares. That giving a boost die to each different character would be a different use of it, but also I don't care that much.
And also, it probably needs to be more along the lines of, if you really want to get those boost dice, probably want to start describing your stunts like it's a feng shui. I jump on the serving cart and unload my blaster rifle to move down as my maneuver. Do I get a boost die for that, GM?
Yeah. I don't know. If we want to start doing rule of cool, I can have the bad guys do cool stuff too, and that would balance it out. So if you want to...
yeah, especially with, they also start to flub like the players, like critically fail, and then it's like everyone just starts to laugh because it's like, hey, the big bad evil guy basically falls down the stairs again for some reason because he critically.
He's basically Ed 209 at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how much you guys want. Well, okay, let's take a consensus now. How many of you want to go mostly by the rules as written, where we have big discourses on it like this, and how many of you want to just play it by ear?
I don't mind having a big discourse like this after the session or whatever, and play it by ear in the moment. As far as rule of cool goes, really going to be up to your interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could just say that, everyone, if they wanted, a maneuver to aim is basically the same thing as adding a boost die for being cool.
The aim maneuver is literally just spending a maneuver to get a boost die. That's its entire purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at the things that cost 3 advantage. Could be incorporated into, I do a cool thing and it means X, and just extrapolate from there, understanding that that's a cost of 3 advantage, so if you don't have that much, the fooling doesn't work as well.
I feel like codifying things and like trying to create a system is a mistake. But that's also like my entire philosophy on gaming is book rules are for squares.
Well, book rules are fine because
I
everyone is
agree.
sort of standard minimum of what to go, but GM is free to edit things to make things move so much smoother. Because some rules are like really like, oh, what were they really thinking? And we're talking about shadow.
My concern with going with rule of cool is the extra onus on the GM to be consistent in what is worth what.
True.
And I don't want to create more work for Furious Angle than he's already running the game.
When also, I think...
So I tend to kind of fall back.
When I think it's going to be frustrating, too, if people feel like, well, that was cool. I don't know why I didn't get a boost for that. So I kind of feel like rule of cool should be like literally everybody gets a boost die for everything they do, just kind of as a blanket. I'm sure you figured something cool.
A way to interpret rule of cool as a way of like, you have to the player has to argue if they want boost die. If they don't want to chase boost die via like descriptors for things, like, because there's gonna be times when, like, most of the time when I'm asked to kill something, I'm just like, I'm just shooting it. I don't want this to be fancy, and I don't want boost die when I'm not doing stuff fancy. So, like, we as the players should be the ones saying, please, Furious Angle, can I have some boost die?
And I think the problem with that is that's going to slow down gameplay when you've already got so many mechanics, like with upgrading. When you upgrade, how about this? When you upgrade, that's rule of cool. You're doing something cool when you upgrade. And that way there's no interpretation. You just say, I do this, and it's cool. You describe what you do as you're saying you upgrade, and there's no way for me to say, nuh-uh, I don't think that's cool enough. There's no way for someone else to say, well, I did something cool and I didn't get a benefit. Rule of cool is using a destiny point. Does that work for everyone?
Well, I thought I wasn't the point of the rule of cool was to increase the amount of dice being thrown at a problem, because that's just reskinning a mechanic, which I 100% like. I like the idea of reskinning the mechanic that way, but I don't know. If that was the issue, I legitimately don't know what we've been talking about for the past while.
That might be me too, because
yeah, my understanding of the discussion is, how are we going to spend advantage going forward? Is it going to be advantage to do a cool thing, and it's up to the GM to tell me what the mechanical results of that are, or do I spend the advantage and pick a thing from the chart, and I get the thing that I picked?
Well, I mean, explicitly in the rules, it states that it's supposed to be used narratively, and then gives examples of ways that some of those things can give benefits, but it doesn't explicitly have to give you any mechanical benefit. The whole point is that it's turning it into more of a collaborative storytelling exercise. You are introducing minor facts into the narrative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that we, as players, should be, like, this is designed to give us agency in that regard, and we should be more creative than to just say, I want a boost die, or I'm going to give him a boost die, or I'm going to give him a step back.
And that
is that is not just on the GM, that is on us as well.
And that's going to filter over to me too, because I'm going to have to do the same thing with all the NPCs. I can't say they just shoot at you really good, and their next ally, he shoots at you even better.
Well, I mean, when you have setbacks and stuff like that to deal with, just look at the situation, and if you can come up with something creative to add to the narrative that makes sense or would be funny or cool, then do it. And if not, it's okay to lean on like the simple mechanics that are included.
And some days you just want to say, I just shoot.
Yeah, but I think so to kind of wrap this all up with a bow, it's not the next. It's not only the boost die doesn't go over to only the next allied active character's skill check, but rather the next allied character that does a skill check for the one, and it's not repeatable.
Yes.
And then same thing with the one for two.
To the next check performed by an allied character.
Yes. That's my understanding of the way that you guys want it. So honestly, I don't think further discourse is really necessary if everyone agrees that's the way to do it.
Sure.
And the other point of agreeing that only doing them once, only one boost die for one, only one boost die for two, and be more creative with the rest of your advantage if you have.
Does this mean crits only happen once?
No, crits specifically do not happen only once.
Well, you
can't.
They do, because if you get 2 crits, then you just add 10 to the critical roll.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is specified in critical hits. So that's why that works that way.
the game is just not laid out in like in a concise manner.
No, it's not.
Not terribly.
Absolutely.
Well, like, it was designed by FFG.
It is not terrible. Do not call that terrible.
No.
It is nowhere near
No.
terrible. Holy shit.
I said not terribly so. It is not terribly well laid out. I'm not saying it was terrible.
I'm thinking about all the years working on national staff for White Wolf stuff, and oh my god, kill me.
Hey, I have a very. I have the funniest wrench I'd like to throw into this argument that we just completed.
Can I
So
do an anecdote first about bad game design?
Go ahead, please.
I heard horror stories from Gen Con about the upcoming version of Shadowrun, where the low-light vision rules only specify that you get the bonus if you have it and your opponent doesn't. It doesn't specify that it's in darkness. It doesn't specify that it's in combat. You can out-talk somebody if you're both in a well-lit environment and you have low-light vision and he doesn't.
Yeah, that sounds like fucking Catalyst Games Lab.
Yeah. All right, that's my anecdote. Now back to discussion. Go ahead.
All right. Fun fact. So you know how we've been basing this entirely on the Edge of the Empire book?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's different in other books.
So in that same table in Age of Rebellion, which I opened because it was a book that was higher up on my list of books ahead of it, they do not have this may be performed more than once for any of them. Recover one strain is just recover one strain. I find that hilarious.
It's in the FAQ.
Yeah.
It is in the FAQ as a misprint.
As I said, I don't actually, again, as I've been saying this thing.
I'm sure they copy and pasted it. How did they fuck that up?
They copy and pasted it because the same thing happened in Force of Destiny. It doesn't say this may be selected more than once. You have to go to the FAQ.
Oof.
Yeah.
See, and this is why I just find this funny.
Now I'll tell you right away why it's like that with Fantasy Flight products, because they've never had, even when they like supposedly had an RPG division, they never really had an RPG division. They constantly hired fuckloads of freelancers to work on everything. So like they never had any coherent like design core or anything like that. You know, consistently.
They didn't have an editor.
And now they're outsourced to a company that has basically no history with designing RPGs at all and only was a publisher for a few of them in Europe only. So, great. But, you know.
Sweet.
Well, I'm sure it's...
At least it's not totally dead. At least it's not totally dead.
Yeah, they basically did it for redundancy. Isn't it just another own company that's doing RPG lines now?
Now, it is, but it's a company that's, like, tiny and has nothing to do whatsoever with role-playing games and had no one that had ever actually designed them. All they did was translate and republish, like, a single, somewhat obscure small game. That's the only RPG experience that they've had. So, I mean, you know, whatever. But, like, who knows what that means, right? Because before, Fantasy Flight was basically hiring freelancers for almost everything anyway. So, what does it matter what company name it's under if they're just going to hire a bunch of freelancers to work on whatever's next? But still, not a great sign, but not the worst sign.
Cool. So, anyone have anything else?
My hopes for Western Gaming are in Cyberpunk 2077.
Ooh, I love Mike Pondsmith.
I don't even know if the RPG is coming out at the same time as the video game or if it's been delayed.
2077 is basically out already.
Oh, jeez.
It's been on shelves. Like I've seen.
I just knew that I'm living in rural fucktown now, so I'm not seeing shelves of anything. But all the news that I've heard was about the video game. I haven't heard anything about the RPG.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. It's Mike Pondsmith with a bunch of money behind him for once. Instead of, like, you know, commissioning his friends from high school to do art.
Man, I'll be his friend from high school. Put me in...
All right. Well, I'm about to sign off. Did anyone else have anything they wanted to bring up while we're discussing stuff?
I was not here for XP. Is XP normal?
Hasn't been done yet.
Yeah. Same as usual. 15 base, 5 if you do a write-up of your character's motivation, right? And then the 2 was for notes. Was that what we're going with?
I believe that's correct. Yep.
That sounds right.
So, yep, that's that. Good game, everyone. We'll wrap this up neatly, hopefully, next session with the big summit.
Yeah.
This will be where you guys shine, though, with your talking.
And apologies again for dropping in and out like this. If I knew that I was going to be in so many different missions, I probably would have taken off this. So, sorry for my own complications.
Not a problem from my end.
Oh man, what should I dedication?
Take another thing to 3. Do it.
The only
You
thing I'd have to do that with would be intellect, which
Do it, you coward.
Again, does. Cunning.
God, I. See, if I get 4 brawn, that's still comedy, but also I can just keep getting shot more.
I guess cunning doesn't do that though, so.
All right, well, good night, everyone.